Music are by James Hetfield, Lars Ulrich, and Kirk Hammett. The arrangements are by Paul Murtha, John Ebor Holland, Tim Show, Jay Folko. The Master of Puppets drum book is by Omar Jimenez. The drill design is by Ryan Liff. The band director is Mr. Edward Gatzing. Assistant band director, Kristen Hoden. The percussion instructor is Mr. James Mirando. The assistant percussion instructor, Mr. James Harper Jr. Color guard instructor is Mr. Tom the Jedi Master Hoffman. The band is under the field direction of drum majors Riley Telerico DeVell and Thea Akizian. Color guard captains are Emily Casaro, Haley Bagley, Jordan Patton, with equipment manager Haley Robertson Quo. Choreographer is Maya Warren. Percussion captains are Michael Hines, Jack Conar, James Olin. The school executives are Jamila Brady, Victoria Sanchez Marquez, Devani Tamden. Tonight's featured soloist is Annabelle Fredericks on trombone, with color guard solos by captains Emily Casaro and Haley Bagley. Ladies and gentlemen, I direct your attention to the field at the 50-yard line, where our drum majors will indicate the band's readiness to perform. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2024 Marching Patriots.
Hey, excuse me, guys.
Yeah.
We're picking up your whole conversation because we're doing the band. Once the band's over, enjoy.
Gentlemen in the white shirt, whatever you want to say, you can write it down. Oh, well, don't shoot fire if they fire it. Thanks. Then you'll be up on shot.
Let's see if we can get Braden on the Webby. Stand right there. Right here, the Webby. Yeah, move it. It's over here. You got it? More? No. It's good. Joe, you're in the shot. I'm going to get up. When he starts to sing, I'll get up and get out quick.
This is Chuck here.
Introduce everyone. Go ahead, tell him his name now. So when you're done, you talk. Good name. Trey, tell Tom. Big deal. You'll be in the shot, right?
Yeah, just do a couple of other.
Right there, pretty much, or a little bit. Right? Yes. All that you need.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it one more time for the Freehold Township High School Marching Patriots.
Every day.
to opening points toss. Captains for the visiting Patriots, number 1, Nick Cardone. Number 6, Justin Tamai.
All right, gentlemen, stop right there. Bring it in, gentlemen. Bring it in.
And number 55, Braden Martin.
So how you doing, Michael Rotter?
Captains for the
Guys,
visiting
shake hands.
Patriots,
Introduce yourself, please.
Gary Rinrock. Number 57, Taylor Borowski. Number 77, Matt Lehman. Number 75, Joey DePalia.
Hey, guys. First of all, let me congratulate you all for making the playoffs this year, all right? Hey, hard-nosed football today, all right? Good, clean football. I like good sportsmanship at all times. Do not take it amongst yourself, taking care of business. Do you understand me?
Sir.
All right, so before I even let Mayor do a coin toss, let me introduce you to my crew. In front of me, John Cummins. He is my umpire. Behind Freehold and to my right, I got Bruce Cronauer, and to my left, I got Augie Lorio. Behind Hillsborough, to my right, well, Greg Chupkowski, who's talking all the time, and then to my left, Evan Murray. He is my field judge. My name is Michael Rotter. I'm your referee. Come see one of us, and we'll handle business. You won't take care of it. All right, sir? All righty. I got an honorary captain for Hillsborough. I got the mayor. We're going to call it, we got a coin. And first of all, I always do a trivia. Anybody ever see a 50-cent piece? Who's on the 50-cent piece?
No clue, sir.
All right, John F. Kennedy, your 35th president, all right? We got a heads, we got a tails, all right? Call it loud in the air.
All right,
Here you go,
boys,
sir.
Let's do it. Heads.
Heads!
Go ahead.
We have a tails. We have a tails.
We'd like to receive for you.
You want the ball, all right? You're going to kick it. What goal would you like to defend? Turn your backs to it, gentlemen.
Defend.
Turn your backs on the black line. Black over here, gentlemen. Hillsborough has won the toss and has elected to receive. Gentlemen, shake hands. Let's have a safe game. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
And fans, at this time, we ask that you please rise and remove your caps and turn your direction to the flagpole near the Raider locker room as we honor America with the singing of our national anthem tonight, performed by On-Road Intermediate School 10-year-old Braden Lugo.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Good job, young man. Great job. Great job.
Like the kid was ready, I've been ready too. But here we are, folks, live from David A. Noonan Field at Hillsborough High School. Hello, everybody. You just heard a very nice rendition of our national anthem by a fifth grader named Braden Lugo, only 11 years old, from the Aughton Road School here in Hillsborough. What a nice job with our national anthem here tonight as we get ready for NJSIAA South Jersey Group 5 playoff football between the visiting Freehold Township Patriots and the Hillsborough Raiders. Now join me here. I'm Tom Wilkins. We have Joey Pagan and Howard Gaber, of course, for the controls. Joey, well, hey, what a way to start the evening. What can I tell you?
What a way. That young man was great. Phenomenal young man there singing the national anthem. As I was standing outside, as soon as he started to sing, the crowd just got quiet. You heard nothing but him singing. How amazing was that?
Tell you one thing, Whitney Houston would be proud of that one. That was a very nice version. But as we get started, Freehold Township, the Patriots, they're 5-4, the number 6 seed in South Jersey Group 5. Hillsborough, winners of 4 straight. They're 6-3 in the season. They're the number 3 seed, and they will get the ball first. They won the toss and receive. They are in their home black uniforms, moving left to right. Freehold moving right to left. We'll switch sides during the second quarter. Referee is about to blow his whistle, and we should be all set. But first, the ball blew off the tee. Game time temperature 70 degrees. Who would have thought on November 1st it would feel like Central Florida when we're doing kickoff? But temperatures are expected to drop throughout the night and might be 10 degrees cooler by the time this thing's over. All right, now here we go. And a little directional kick match, scramble and recovered at about the 30-yard line is Hillsborough. And unlike last week when we had the surprise onside kick, didn't happen this time. Hillsborough have it 1st and 10 for their own 31-yard line. Hillsborough, as I said, they've won their last 4 games, came off an impressive 48-21 win over Hunterdon Central last week. Now, one thing about Freehold Township, even though they've lost their last 2 games, remember, this year, the Patriots have been a better road team than a home team. So this is something to be very careful about today. As a matter of fact, Freehold Township started with their first 4 games on the road, and they won 3 of them. Now, they have had their struggles since, but hey, playoff football, you never know. As we're about to get underway with Ryan Seaman at quarterback, 1st and 10, the ball spotted at the 30-yard line. Looks like they're sending Schwartz in motion, and Schwartz going to get it, and he's going to go all the way down to the 40. A little counter inside, and a possible first down. We'll see where they spot it. They're going to give him 11 and a first down to 41, Joey.
Great job by Schwartz there, looking at the straight ahead run there. Took the ball straight up the middle. Once again, the offensive line is picking up where they left off last week with some great blocks there and giving them a good room to run and get 11 yards for a first down.
Remember last week, Hillsborough scored on their first 7 possessions following the surprise onside kick to begin the game. Here's a deep throw, and he's got Schwartz just over his head, incomplete. He had a step on his defender, just a little bit too much, but it's incomplete. That was a nice play design, though.
A little trickery going on there, I think. Early in the game where, the quarterback was Jankowicz, and then he handed the ball off to the other quarterback so he could throw the ball downfield.
Wasn't one of the touchdowns for Hillsborough like this last week, or was that Hunterdon Central?
No, I think it was for Hillsborough. You could be right. Or, no, it might have been Hunterdon Central. You're right.
Whatever the case, 2nd and 10, handoff up the middle. Here is Jankowicz, the aforementioned player who gets 4 on his first carry to the 45-yard line. He comes into this game needing 76 yards to get to the 1,000-yard mark in his senior season. Jackson with 15 touchdowns. And he had 3 last week. In fact, one of them was the receiving end, and the other 2 were rushing.
Yeah, I mean, he's looking to get to that mark with 1,000 yards tonight. Hopefully he can get it, but, he has to have a big game, just like Schwartz just ran the ball very well. We need to get the running game started. Offensive line, once again, great blocking on that for 5 yards. So looks like they're starting off really good.
3 wide slot left on 3rd down. It's a keeper now for Seaman, and he's hit right at the line of scrimmage, and Freehold able to make a good stop on the opening drive for Hillsborough, and there's not going to be an opening drive score here unless suddenly we have a fake punt or what have you.
Right.
But it looks like Hillsborough is going to punt on 4th down.
Right. I mean, it looked like there was a miscommunication there. He was trying to give the ball off, but he didn't. And then he figured, I'll just take it myself, and then he kept on going with the ball, but wasn't able to get a first down out of that.
Nate Drab is standing as 33-yard line, and now flags down. Hold on a second. Oh, they got Hillsborough for 12 men on the field, a substitution foul. So that's going to back it up 5 yards. And Hillsborough will punt back at the original line of scrimmage where they started these downs. So The key is here, when you have a playoff game like this, every penalty is magnified, so you have to be careful. Drab now standing at the 28-yard line. He will punt. Long awaiting the snap. That's a good one.
Ball's away.
Oh, off the side of his foot. And it takes a neutral bounce and goes out of bounds at the 48. That's a big break for Freehold. That's only a 12-yard punt.
Yeah.
So Freehold Township will start from their own 48-yard line. Hillsborough's defense is going to have to really be on their toes and be ready for the pass. This is a predominantly passing team that the Raiders are facing tonight.
Yeah, the defensive line has to show up tonight and make sure they get some really good pressure on the quarterback and not allow him too much time to throw the ball, settle his feet. So let's see what they do. Or if not, maybe we get some pressure off the edge or inside with the backers.
Nick Cardone is the quarterback for those Freehold Township Patriots, and they start from their 49, and they spread right away in the shotgun with a back to the right. 1st and 10 for the 49. Back to passes. Cardone looking, directing traffic. Hall closes. He'll scramble left. And a good job by Hillsborough's defense. Able to close the door and force a 1-yard loss. Garrett Meyer was able to force him out of bounds.
I mean, they were lucky that he didn't get further out because they had lost containment for a moment there on the outside. But the linebacker was able to come over and still force him to go outside and not be able to cut back in, which was good.
I'm not sure if that's considered a sack the way that developed, but it's a 1-yard loss. So they're going to give him a 1-yard loss for a run. It is 2nd and 11, and back to spread they go as Cardone in the shotgun. Probably going to see a lot of this formation throughout. Back to pass with the middle, and the pass is caught for quite a gain. What a nice grab. That is Noah Kinsella, the 6'1 senior. He was able to get to about the 42. He's a yard shy of a first down, but he got 10.
I mean, you did say that they were a passing team, so it's more like a run and shoot with this offense here. So the linebackers are going to have to get a little better drop on that. I believe they blitzed that play, which is why they didn't have anybody in the middle there.
Timing is everything here. 3rd and a yard from the 42-yard line. Let's see what Cardone does as he's vocalizing, almost a little reminiscent of the Edison quarterback we saw last year in the playoffs. Now switching sides is the back with Cardone, waiting in the shotgun. Freehold's opening drive. Now he calls his own number. He'll have a first down crossing the 40 and down to the 37-yard line before being brought down by Mateo Del Toro.
I mean, they spread everybody out. You almost knew he was going to call his own number, but Hillsborough wasn't able to make a stop here. But, now it's 1st and 10. Hillsborough needs to regroup and get back on defense and try to stop this pass. And they need to get some pressure. Looks like they're in the cover 3 right now also. I'm just trying to see where the other safety's at right now at the moment, but that's what it looks like. Possibly a 4.
Well, they're going to spread yet again. 1st and 10 from the 37 as Cardone's going to roll right. He's going to lob right, and it's a little wide, incomplete, intended for Cancella, who has the lone catch. And as you mentioned, Joey, you mentioned about the run and shoot. This is more like an old school version. So those of you growing up watching the Houston Oilers and Warren Moon, I mean, that's quite an example of it. And you know what? We don't see too much of that.
You don't see too much of it, but the uniforms are pretty much the same as Houston. They're similar. So you could be right.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Just the Oiler blue just is not premonition on the legs, we'll just say. But anyway, it's 2nd and 10 from the 37-yard line as Cardone awaits the shotgun snap, and there's no play. Somebody jumped.
Dead ball on white.
And it's against Freehold for a false start.
2nd down.
So a 5-yard penalty as it goes back to the 42-yard line. And as I mentioned, every penalty is going to be magnified, especially later in this game. We're just 3.5 minutes in, and each team does have a 5-yard penalty.
That's true. I mean, right now you're heading in the wrong direction. You started out with great field position, got a couple of first downs, and now you're heading backwards. Good for Hillsborough, bad for Freehold.
Well, we'll see if they recover from that. Cardone standing in the shotgun. Obviously, they're not changing their offense here. On 2nd and 15. And an inside handoff, and what a hard hit down to about the 41-yard line. They do not run very much, and the running back happens to be Justin Tamai. and he's the leading rusher for Freehold with 4 rushing touchdowns, and he only has 323 rushing yards. Just keep in mind that Cardone has thrown for over 2,200 yards this season.
Oh boy, so yeah, you got to expect him to be throwing the ball a lot. You know what I mean? So this is what I'm saying, where the defense needs to be smart. Once again, they look like they're in a 2. They may be rolling into a 3, but they could just stay in that 2.
And now we're going to have a Hillsborough timeout on 3rd and 14. So they'll use their first one here, and I guess maybe we can grab a break here with 7:44 left in the first. No score with Freehold and Hillsborough. We'll come back in a moment.
When you want reliable work, trust family-owned A&B Landscaping to make your property look its best. With over 25 years of experience, our design team will help create an oasis in your backyard with landscaping, hardscaping, retaining walls, and more. Our commercial customers rely on us for landscaping and maintenance too. So no matter what type of property, we can handle it. We're the company you can trust, so give us a call today.
All right, now the Patriots are back on the field. Hillsborough using their first timeout on defense. Knowing how dangerous this Freehold Township passing attack is, Hillsborough needs to be ready here on 3rd and 14. Ball spot at the 41-yard line. Again, not changing their formation as spread. Cardone takes a snap, has time, gonna throw it left. He's got a guy. It's caught, and it's gonna be short of a first down at the 32-yard line. And once again, the catch by Noah Cancella. He came in as the leading receiver for Freehold. He had almost 900 yards in receptions, and he has 9 receiving touchdowns on the year. So that's the go-to guy, but he's 5 yards shy of a first down after a 9-yard pickup.
I mean, they played really soft on that last defense. They were not up. I'm assuming they're going to play a little more tighter now to not give up this first down on 4th down. I see the corners are pressing, and they're still in the 2 high, so we'll see what comes out.
Here we go on 4th and 5 from the 32. Cardone back. He's looking, being chased, rolls right, waiting in trouble, fires it, and he's nowhere close. It's a turnover on downs as Hillsborough's defense steps up. Catch was caught by Dakota Lassiter, the sophomore, but it ends up being only a yard, and Freehold turns the ball over on downs. Good stop by Hillsborough's defense here on the opening drive.
Good stop by Hillsborough's defense. You're correct. I mean, the linebacker was playing man on that on the underneath coverage, so that was good. That was good on his part there. So, that they were able to hold on that 4th down there was good.
Okay, Hillsborough gets it back after the stop ball spotted at looks like the 33-yard line, 1st and 10. Seaman in the shotgun. They go 4 receivers tripling right back. The pass throws left side. That is caught. A couple of yards shy of a first down, but a couple of second and third effort moves. That was Jankowitz with the catch. We'll see where they spot it. Probably a yard or 2 short of a first down. They're going to mark it at the 42.
Well, he was there. Good pass, good catch by Jankowitz, and he was trying to do a little more extra with the ball and try to get some more extra yards. I just think he just go forward, but nevertheless, he got about 8 to 9 yards out of that, which is great.
Shane Monga with the stop, the junior for Freehold Township. It is 2nd and a yard from the 42-yard line, and of course, waiting for Kevin Carty Jr. to put the play call in. Obviously, a calmer start this week compared to last. And now they gather together for a 2nd and a yard. They go I formation, or I split right, it looks like. They send a man motion, handoff up the middle. Oh, not going to get there. They decided to give that one to Zion Grant, and he stopped right at the line of scrimmage. A good stop by Dominic Fiore, the junior, and it forces a 3rd and a yard.
Good defense by the interior line on the Freehold Township. They don't no room to run for him at all. I mean, they brought the big back in, figure we're going to give it to the big back. We're going to get that 1 yard, and they weren't able to get it.
Yeah, might throw a play fake here as it is. They're going to go tempo anyway. 3 wide slot right, single back on 3rd down. The handoff doesn't work, and there's a loose ball.
Ball's out.
And it's going to be Freehold ball, I believe.
White ball,
yes,
John,
it is.
White ball.
A recovery by Shane Monge, who was able to knock the ball out and recover it. Huge blow for Hillsborough. They tried 2 short yard situations. The Patriots were right on the money with both of them, and they get the ball back following a turnover.
Great defense by the Patriots defense there. They were able to come up with a big stop and the turnover at that to get the ball back in great field position to hopefully start their offense off again and try to get something going here for them.
You know, Joey, I actually thought it was a little surprising how quickly they tried to hand the ball off, knowing Freehold was going to be ready for it.
All right.
So the Patriots in plus territory at the Hillsborough 42-yard line. They're backing at it, 1st and 10. Boy, everything's magnified when it comes to games like this.
Yeah, every single possession is important.
All right, so from the 42-yard line, here's Cardone taking a snap, looking, got to try a deep one. It is caught, and it's good night. Welcome to the end zone. It took only one play for Noah Cancelo to grab a 42-yard touchdown. Wow, he is just spectacular. His 10th receiving touchdown of the year. And boy, that is I know it's early, but that's a tough one for Hillsborough.
That is a tough one there. I miss the safety was there, but he mistimed his jump on that play where he should have been able to either deflect the ball at least. But I think he should have just made a play on the man rather than the ball. I think he misjudged that.
Yeah, that's very true. And considering, like we had mentioned at the top of the broadcast, that this is a heavily passing team, especially the traditional run and shoot. All right, so to go with the extra point, Dakota Lassiter will try it. Here's the snap. Kick on its way. Down to shoot. It's 7-0 Freehold right at the first score of the game with 5:08 left here in the first. And, Joe, you're going to have to tell me how Cancelo got so open here.
All right, we're going to take a look where he comes from. I think he comes from the bottom of the screen. I'm not sure if that's him there. But we'll take a look. I know the safeties were playing deep, but they stepped up, and then they try to get back. All right, there he goes. Nobody touches him at all. He just right off the line. No one redirected him or anything, and the safety came up, misjudged it, touchdown.
Oh man, that is a tough one, and you can't make those mistakes out in the field, knowing that they would try and go for the jugular right after the turnover, and they were successful.
Correct.
So very nice play by Freehold Township. They take the 7-0 lead, but let's consider this: like last week when Hardin Central scored in the opening drive of the game, Hillsborough responded. Can they do it again here?
Well, let's hope that they can. I mean, first of all, you need to get a good return here to get some great field position, but they have to regroup defensively now and figure out what they're going to do. I mean, if you're going to play a two and stay deep, make sure your safeties understand that they're the last man on the field. They can't be looking in the backfield and coming up, and you got to redirect that number 2 receiver a little bit, if anything, but we'll see what they come up with here.
All right, well, let's see what happens here at a kickoff. And it's another directional kick. They're keeping it away from Jankowicz. We know that. Taking it to 28 and then tackled at about the 31-yard line. The upman that time, that was Damian Amato, the junior, who brought up to the 31. And now Hillsborough will try this again and start 1st and 10. They need to be more careful and more protective with the ball in this drive.
They definitely got to take control and be more careful with the ball. You are correct. They need to protect it a little more, especially when they're running with the ball on the offensive side there. They had a couple of great runs, and then all of a sudden the offensive line is not moving anybody, and their defensive line is getting good penetration.
Well, Freehold has been able to counter on defense, and that's probably why Hillsborough struggled. All right, on 1st and 10, they're going to swing the pass to Schwartz, who has an opening, crossing the 40. He will crash out of bounds at about the midfield stripe, and now a late flag comes down, possibly for unnecessary roughness.
Well, yep, good run, good return on his part.
He stepped out of bounds, but then the tackle continued, and that's probably why. Let's find out.
From the 50 or from the 49? All right, after the run, we had a dead ball. Personal foul on White. Take it 15 from there.
And there you go. You heard the voice of referee Michael Rotter, the rest of his crew, the umpire John Cummins, the head linesman Jake Chapowski, field judges Evan Murray, line judges Bruce Cronauer, and the side judge is Augie Lorio. That's your officiating crew for tonight's game here in Hillsborough. So unnecessary roughness on Freehold Township, which now gives Hillsborough 1st and 10 to Freehold 34. Here's Seaman back to pass. Throws right. That is caught. Trying to spin away, but
Oh.
Berto Santiago stepped out of bounds. They're going to give him the 26-yard line. So a gain of 8. And now Hillsboro's starting to cook a little bit.
They're starting to move the ball a little better, getting the ball to the outside to their receivers, which is a lot better. You know, I mean, although they had some success running inside up until that point where they fumbled, but, you know, spreading the ball around, changing your offense up a little bit is a good thing for Hillsboro right now.
All right, well, countdown to 4:43 left here in the first quarter. Let's see if Hillsboro can level this thing. 3 wide slot left. They're going to run this. And Jankowicz will push his way to about the 23. That should be enough for a first down. It's a 3-yard pickup. They needed 2, so they moved the chains.
Yep. Good job by the offensive line this time. Again, you know, in blocking. And they had a motion, and the lead blocker by number 7 came in and took a couple of steps over and then went forward and was able to pick up a good block for him to be able to get at least 3 yards out of it, which was important.
Again, they'll go 3 wide slot left here on 1st and 10. Ball spot at the Freehold 23-yard line. Seaman, they try to give it to Jankowicz. Slips out of a couple tackles. He gets through to about the 20. Still on his feet and down inside the 15. And he might have another first down, and that is one tough 10-yard pickup if that's so. Or they're going to say it's a yard short.
Well, look, that was a great run by Jankowicz there. I mean, it was all him. Once he got past the line of scrimmage, he stepped in, stepped out. He did his juke. He stiffed on one player and was able to continue upfield to get another 8 yards, 9 yards out of it in total, close to a first down and keep the drive alive here.
All right. Here we go on a second and about a yard. They're going to triple the left side, and they're going to spread it out a bit. Again, Jankowicz turning the corner to the 10, to the 5, and out of bounds inside the 5. They're going to give him the 3. So that's another first down as a gain of 11.
And Jankowicz is gobbling up the yards here. And
listen, I wouldn't be surprised if Jankowicz puts one in. Remember, he had 3 touchdowns, 2 on the ground last week, and he's looking to get his 26th of his career here. They go I formation. Looks like Zion Grant's the up back here. They're going to lob this one, but too high and incomplete. They went in the direction of Santiago. They tried to do a little play fake, but didn't look like the play was going anywhere anyway. So the right call made by just throwing it incomplete.
I mean, it was a good call. I mean, he overthrew him. The defender was there, so it was a 50-50 ball. You don't want to take that chance. I guess he overthrew it, but it was a good play call with the play action there. I mean, they were really expecting runs. So
2nd and goal from the 3. Pitch out, Jankowicz has a hole. He's home, I believe. Welcome to the end zone and clear the area for Jackson Jankowicz. His 26th touchdown of his career and 16th this year on the ground.
Great job by Jankowicz there. I mean, he saw the hole, was able to hit it quickly and just jump over one defender and then get into the end zone. Great job by that young man.
And I did say Hillsboro needed to respond.
They did need to respond, and they responded in the right way. They came back positive. They got the touchdown.
I think the key play in that one was the unnecessary roughness foul. Extra point snap, kick on its way. We are level. Tied at 7 as Nick Schmidt, the sophomore, boots it through. And with 3:34 left in the first, we're even at 7. And Joey,
let's take a look
how
at the
open was that hole for Jankowicz that time?
I mean, that left side of the line just left it and gave him a big hole to run through here. Number 7 kicks out real quick. There he goes. Got the big block right there.
And Zion Grant
on the east side. Yep.
And that's why he's a fullback. And what he does there makes the hole for Jankowicz and pay dirt for him.
Both those guys came up with really good blocks there for him to be able to get into the end zone with no problems. Barely untouched there. Great job by both those guys.
So Hillsboro responds and levels this game at 7. And now let's see what Freehold Townships can do. But I think the more important thing is, can Hillsboro's defense adjust to the passing attack of Nick Cardone and the Patriots?
That's going to be the key, right? You want to make sure that you get your secondary to understand that they don't need to be looking in the backfield. They need to stay home and play their position, play their zone, do what they have to do, whether it's in the 2 or in the 3. And, that defensive line needs to come up with some pressure for them to be able to not have to cover that long. So the defensive line needs to come up big on this next defensive series here.
Okay, so we'll be kicking off. And tell you what, this Hillsboro crowd, now consider the students were off today, and that's why there's no band tonight for Hillsboro. But the fans are they're picking up for the band's leaving off. What can I say? It's a spirited crowd tonight.
It is a spirited crowd tonight. That is correct, Tom. Good job. Let's see. Hopefully we get a great kick here.
Following Coach Carty from last week. All right, here we go with a kickoff. And it's high and end over end. It's going to be a one-hopper. Taking it about the 10. Slides through about the 20 and tackle down to 24-yard line. So that's where Freehold will start 1st and 10. I believe that was Mateo Del Toro with the tackle.
It was a good coverage by the kicking team there. Matoro, he plays linebacker also, so that was good. He came up, made a good play there for Hillsboro to keep it to a minimum gain. It didn't look like he was going to go for much, but he managed to squeeze through and get a few yards. A good return.
And so for Freehold, they will start from their own 24-yard line, 1st and 10. We're going to see what Nick Cardone is back on the field. By the way, this crowd being spirited is because Hillsboro did not have enough players on the field. Got to make sure you have 11 and not 12 like earlier. All right, Cardone to shotgun. Play fake. Rolling right. Let's see what he can do. He's going to fight. He's got a man open. Carter midfield to the 40 and all the way down. Still going to the 30 and down to about the 20. 56 yards later, all of a sudden, Freehold's in striking distance again.
Wow, great play. I mean, the quarterback is really athletic, was able to get away from the rush, got outside of the containment, and was able to roll right and then throw off his back foot and be able to get the ball downfield. Once again, the defense of backs looking in the backfield, watching him and watching the quarterback, not paying attention to the receivers in the backfield.
And it's a 55-yard pass to Amari Jimenez, the senior, and that makes it 1st and 10, just like that for Freehold at the 21-yard line. Here's Cardone awaiting the snap. He'll take, and here's a rare handoff. It's not going to go for much, but it goes to about the 20-yard line.
I think it's a good call, just to keep the defense, honest. You run the ball every now and then, and just to continue to keep them guessing on what you're doing, and then hopefully you can get another little pop pass or another big pass for 55 yards here, and which what they just had. So the defense really needs to step up and needs to be smart about what they're doing. I think the safeties are just looking too much into the backfield.
Yeah, that's been a big problem so far. Tamai got 2, by the way, and the ball spotted the 19. What we got, official timeout? Or an equipment issue? So equipment issue, so they had to get a last-second substitution, which is why the clock stopped momentarily. We're now approaching 2 minutes left in the first in a 7-7 game, and Freehold looking to strike again as they just entered the red zone. I'll tell you what, even one formation, a defense can be completely confused because you can run hundreds of plays.
Yeah, out of one formation, that is definitely right.
Well, here they're going to triple the left side and change it up now that I mention it. 2nd and 8 from the 19-yard line. Empty gun here as Cardone calls his number. He'll cross the 15, and he'll crash to about the 11. So a gain of 8, and that might be enough. We'll see what they say. Probably a yard short based upon what it looks.
Right. As soon as the Freehold coach sees that the Hillsboro is spreading out and not leaving anybody in the middle, there's no one accounting for the quarterback. If he has a spy on him, the spy's not doing a good job at the moment. You clear everybody out and you leave rushing lanes open for the quarterback to run through, and that's what he's going to do all night if you let him.
Back to their normal spread. 3rd and about 2. We're going to say from the 13-yard line, Cardone will await the snap, calls his own number again, tries to turn, slips out of one tackle.
Good job this time.
And then stopped maybe for just about half a yard, which then didn't get the first down. We know that much.
Right.
Now the question is, what does Freehold do on 4th down in about a yard?
They're going to go for it, I would imagine.
Unless they have a kicker.
Yeah. Yeah, so we can see that they didn't bring the kicker out. Let's just see what they do here. We have to make sure that the defense has to make sure that they don't jump. They have to be watch out for the hard count.
Well, we're going
Here.
to find out here. 4th and a yard from the 12. Cardone, that same spread. Tamai looks to be to his left. Let's see what happens. Cardone will await the snap. Calls himself. He'll have the first down. He's
And
got
a
everything.
Freehold.
Welcome to the end zone for Nick Cardone. Runs it through for 12 yards and a late flag at the end of the play.
Coach,
we'll see what that's
you
about.
want it on the kickoff or the extra point?
And it sounds like it's going to be against Freehold, possibly for a celebration foul.
Hey, after the play, we had a dead ball, unsportsmanlike, on white. Will be assessed on the kickoff.
So they will rule it an unsportsmanlike conduct foul after the play against Freehold, but it's still a 12-yard touchdown run for Nick Cardone. And what do you know, folks? Freehold's got the lead again.
They got the lead. I mean, really, what happened was, I think, Hillsborough only had 3 guys on the line of scrimmage there, or 4, and they just blitzed the wrong gap. And, he was able to just step inside the end zone right away, 1, 2, 3. Nobody was in front of him.
And with 1 second left here in the first quarter, go fig. So they will kick the extra point here, and then what will happen is the ensuing kickoff will be from the 25-yard line following the unsportsmanlike conduct foul. Just waiting for some logistics to be done, and then we'll try the extra point. Freehold, of course, in all white with their almost like Oiler blue numerals here, as we mentioned. And now flags are down. Oh, they're going to get Hillsborough for a neutral zone infraction. So let's see what they decide.
You want to move them up to half? All right. Okay. We had a dead ball, offsides on the defense. We're going to go half the distance. Half the distance, John.
All right, so they're going to go half the distance, and now Freehold's going to try for 2 because they brought their kicking team off the field. So now the conversion is going to be from the 1.5.
Wow. Big penalty there. Big penalty there if they convert this 2-point conversion here.
And once again, that's the second special teams foul on Hillsborough, which you just can't have. All right, let's see what they do in the conversion. Cardone will wait the snap. Let's see what he does. Going back, rolling, firing, not quite there. Incomplete, so the conversion fails, and Hillsborough catches a break with 1 second left in the first, and the Freehold Township lead is 13-7. Let's see if those points that were left off the board come back to haunt them.
So, like I said here, he spread the offense out, 2-by-2 formation there. He's just looking for a crease in the defensive line where he can just manage to get through. The backers are dropping back into their drops because obviously you're worried about pass now, so he's going to run. Oh, he just ran right off the rip. Yeah, the backers, good block there. Yep. Yeah. So number 13 was supposed to have that inside gap responsibility. He guessed wrong. He figured he was going outside, and he went back inside. And that's where you had the open hole from.
Well, considering Hillsborough guessed right on most of their defensive plays last week, here they're not as successful in a percentage in guessing. They got to stay in their lane. That's the biggest thing. You got to stay in your lane because if you leave your gap, that's when it becomes a problem.
That is when it becomes a problem because then you leave an alley for the quarterback to step up and run through. And on those type of plays there, that's exactly what he's looking for, to see who's making that mistake and picking the wrong gap, and then he's just cutting back off of that and making a play to the end zone.
As we mentioned, Freehold will be kicking from the 25-yard line. Of course, we had the unsportsmanlike conduct foul after the score, which resulted in a 15-yard penalty. So let's see if Hillsborough is able to take advantage of this. This will be the final play of the quarter unless the kickoff goes out of bounds. It's a directional, and it looks like Jankowicz will take it at the 32. Let's see if he can get all his steam. 45. And down to the 48. And that's where Hillsborough will start as we hit quarter time. We don't have to flip sides very far. So after 1, Freehold Township leads Hillsborough 13-7. We'll break and have quarter number 2 right after this. Okay, back for quarter number 2 here from David Noonan Field, Hillsborough High School in Hillsborough, New Jersey. Or it feels like Central Florida here on this Friday night, November 1st, the day after Halloween. I'm Tom Wilkins with Joey Pagan, Howard Gabriel to controls as usual. As we begin quarter number 2, it is 13-7 in favor of Freehold over Hillsborough, who begins 1st and 10 from their own 49-yard line. And Jankowitz will have the first carry. He'll get through. Look out. 40, to 30, still going, 20. Adios! He did it! Welcome to the end zone! And there's 1,000 yards for Jackson Jankowitz as he clears the area, and boom, just like that, we're tied up.
We are tied up just like that. Great job by that young man. Good run to the outside. Great blocking once again by the offensive tackles and the running back that led the way there too. Was great blocking by there. We'll get a replay afterwards, but that was great job by Jankowitz.
He needed 46 yards to reach 1,000. That was a 51-yard touchdown. His 17th. He's got both scores, snap, kick, and a Hillsborough lead of 14-13.
Great job.
I like that.
Great job. Here we are.
And watch the beauty of Jankowitz on display, the offensive line taking care of business.
Yes. And he comes in motion really quick and then grabs the ball right off tackle. Right now, he went inside, and he was able to break through a few tackles there. One. He got by one, and let me see how many more after that.
None, because he was a speed demon.
Oh, yeah, no one else. That one guy, he just outran everybody up the sideline. Great move by him. Strong kid to break those tackles and be able to get upfield to the end zone. Great job.
He's got both touchdowns, and that 51-yard touchdown puts him over 1,000 yards for his senior year. So congratulations to Jackson, who comes through with his second touchdown and a 1-point lead for Hillsborough. By the way, a couple of progress scores we have for you. Ridge leading Rahway 7-0. Woodbridge, wow, 35-0 over Watchung Hills. And that actually is a final score, I didn't realize. That was played this afternoon. And Somerville with a 16-0 lead over Absegami. By the way, those of you who are watching on HSG Network, we've got TCUFL action. The championship weekend is November 16th and 17th from Absegami. So make sure you subscribe to HSG Network on YouTube. Tell your friends and be sure to subscribe. We got plenty more things coming up. Hopefully a November to remember here on this channel. As the
Great
kickoff
kick.
Is heading to about the 10-yard line and coming back the other way to the 20, turning around. Oh, he's got some room if he wants. Gets to the 30. He'll get to the 40 and still some more yards down to the 43-yard line. Is there a flag down?
Block in the back on the return.
Oh, it's coming back. It's an illegal block in the
Bruce
back.
from that spot. Bruce from that spot. On the return, we had a block in the back on White from 31, going back 10 yards. It'll be first down.
That's a tough break for our
saw that
Freehold.
one.
I mean, I'll tell you one thing. That there was no wonder he got so many yards because something must have. I didn't see a flag until the official was blowing his whistle for like
Once
5
again,
seconds.
Special teams, big part of this, right? They weren't able to get that extra point, 2-point conversion, and now they get a penalty here and they get moved back. So, special teams playing a big role in this game already.
Think about this. Hillsborough's had 3 minor special teams penalties. Freehold has had a block in the back and 2 15-yard penalties.
That's right. 3
Think
majors.
about that for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Field position so important, and the type of penalties are even more important. Oh, they go empty gun here, as it looks like Cardona is going to change it up on 1st and 10. Ball at the 30. Here's a pass. That is caught by the man who had the first touchdown. Getting through a few more. Crossing to the 40 down to the 43-yard line. Noah Cancella. He's having himself a game.
Yeah, that was a simple call as far as passing-wise goes. So the linebacker goes. The receiver just replaces. It's simple football. Throw the ball pass. And then you hope you break up a tackle or two to get a few extra yards, which is exactly what happened there. So, yep.
All right, so 1st and 10 now from the 44-yard line. Again, they go empty. Heavy on the left-hand side. Watch there be a 3-man rush here. Cardone calls his number.
Oh,
There he goes again,
blitz.
crossing midfield down to about the 49-yard line. That's a 7-yard pickup.
Your middle
Boy, is he
line,
dangerous.
your middle linebacker blitz there, number 55. But once again, he went left and the quarterback went right. So someone is not, committing to the right gap, but he may be just reading the defense really well right now, and feeling he's got a good feel for where they're going, and he's going the opposite way of that.
And now 2nd and 3 from the 49-yard line, or inside the 49-yard line. Again, changing to an empty gun, going heavy on the right.
That's the problem when you run a 3-man line, there's too many gaps available. If your backers are not filling them.
Well, let's see what Cardone does. Going to take a shot. Left side. Is that caught? No, incomplete.
Oof. Wow.
Good coverage by Kevin Jones, the junior. But that was a nice try by the receiver who almost made a New York Jets-style catch from last night.
Yeah, I mean, he almost came down with that very good attempt at the ball. Good coverage by the cornerback there. It was good, and you can see Freehold, they have a great rapport of receivers and quarterbacks. They got a lot of good timing patterns going down.
That is very true, and that was just maybe a 1/10 of a second off.
Just maybe a 10th, that's right.
3rd and 3 from the 49. They go back to spread here. Cardone to shotgun. Let's see what they do here. Nearly a jump. Boy, they're jumping around. They didn't cross the neutral zone either time, luckily. Hillsborough needs to be careful here.
A couple of hard counts really quick.
Very hard. They hand it off right side. Oh, I don't know if they got it. We'll see where they spot it. Might be a yard short. Looks like a yard short to the 47-yard line. Again, Tamai with the carry, but Hillsborough's defense closes it up, and it makes it 4th and a yard. Now, there's still under 10 minutes left in the half. Be interesting to see what Freehold does here.
I would assume that they would go for it at this point because they've gone for it, I believe, every 4th down conversion as of yet. So nothing to change, nothing that says that they can change that.
That is true.
We got timeout. White.
Oh, we got a timeout called by Freehold. So we'll break with 9:36 left in the half. Hillsborough up 14-13. Find out what happens on this 4th down by Freehold right after this. All right, a very important 4th and a yard coming up for Freehold. They're at the Hillsborough 47. It'll be 4th and a yard. Let's see how the Patriots line up. We'll see what Cardone does here.
Here we have, again, 4th and 1. You got a 3-man line. The backers in the gap, showing blitz. 2 backers coming.
Takes it himself. Turns. He's got the first down and more. The 40, the 30, and that's where he'll be tackled. So once again, a 4th and 1, and Freehold converts their second one, and a good tackle by Garrett Meyer, the senior, to stop it from Freehold getting the lead again.
It was a good play call by Freehold there, but Hillsborough didn't. I don't know. He got outside, so maybe the defensive end got hooked there or something. But I know they were coming with outside pressure, so maybe the linebacker got hooked and wasn't able to contain there, but. Because I know he came from the outside. They had the 3 down linemen and 2 outside backers came.
Well, when you have somebody who is so responsible for rushing and passing, that tells you how important he is. They're going to swing it, and it's going to be a run and a nice grab and tackle by, looks like Xander Borowski. The senior brings it down for a yard. That is a run because it was a backward pass.
It was a good defensive play on his part. He came off his defensive end spot, I think it is. He's one of the interior linemen, I believe, and was able to chase that down from behind, which was great.
And that was a 3-yard loss. And I'll tell you, Borowski read that play very, very well. Forces it back to the 33-yard line where it'll be 2nd and 13. Hillsborough by a point, but Freehold trying to take the lead back as we go back and forth here in the South Jersey Group 5 NJSIAA football playoff contest here in Hillsborough. They spread again. Cardone weighing the shotgun snap. There it is, going back. Looks, has time. And here's a deep one left side. It is knocked away, incomplete. Kevin Jones was there to knock it away. And there was a close call to being a hold along the line. We thought we saw one, but the officials let it slide.
Yep. I mean, it is the playoffs. I guess they're letting them play just a little bit, but, great defensive coverage by number 10 there on that play, and he had some time to throw, too. So defensive line needs to step it up a little bit and get a little more pressure here.
Just a slight bit underthrown by Cardone, I believe. But still, nice play by the defense, and it's 3rd and 13 at the Hillsborough 33-yard line. I consider these receivers are getting single coverage, and when you have that, the probability of catching it usually goes up. All right, here we go with Cardone in the shotgun as the fans yell for defense. Cardone waits on the 3rd down snap. He's back, has time, moves his feet, tries to go up the middle. Is slaughtered down the line of scrimmage. And once again, it's Borowski who takes care of matters. And it's 4th and 13. Hillsborough raises its defense there.
Good job. Good job by the defensive line. Once again, I mean, he was able to step up and get some yardage to avoid being sacked further. But you know what? It was good play by the defensive tackle there. And making a play.
All right, we're going to see what they do on 4th and 13. They are going for it.
Here's where your safeties need to be smart. Not look in the backfield. Stay home. If you're going to.
Well,
yeah,
you can also consider a pooch punt here for field position purposes. Let's see what Cardone does. He's going to pass. Looking. He's going back. He gets through a couple of tackles, a third, and will not get there.
Good job by the
defense. He's down to 30, and Freehold Township turns it over on downs. Del Toro was in. Garrett Roebuck was in on it. What a job by Hillsborough's defense. They give the ball back to the offense as a 1st and 10.
Great job by the defensive line. They got upfield. They were able to get upfield to get some pressure, but also stopped and maintained their position so that he doesn't get outside of them. They didn't allow him to get outside. They forced him to have to step up to where the rest of the coverage was in the pressure. And good job by the defense there.
All right, wouldn't be nice. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Hillsborough tries to go back to Jankowicz or maybe switch it to Schwartz or who knows what. 1st and 10. And they do give it to Jankowicz. And guess what? To the 40, to midfield, 40, 30. Can he outrun again? Yes, he does! Clear the area! Welcome to the end zone! The hat trick for Jackson Jankowicz!
Wow, great run by Jackson Jankowicz. Oh, my God, this kid is electrifying. And to do it again here at home, at home, in the playoffs, great way to continue this run for his team here.
I think the defense is, well, we already know that he's over 1,000 yards, but 97, you can add it. Wow, 167 if you count that 70-yarder right there.
Wow.
Whew. And it's only the first half. Extra point shines through
Good.
to make it 21
on the
13.
play.
Now there's a flag down. Hold on a sec. Let's see what this is about before we take a look at Nurse. Jacqueline Jackson replay.
Good take it. It's got a roughing the kicker. Hey, dead ball. Roughing the kicker. I'm white. You want on the kickoff, right, Coach? He can go for 2. He can go for 2, or you want to take Coach? Coach, you want?
Well, this is interesting here.
All right, hey.
Freehold
We
Township.
have roughing the kicker. I'm white. Point's good. It's going to be assessed on the kickoff.
Okay, so the extra point is good. The roughing the kicker will be assessed on the kickoff. So we're going to see a rare kickoff in plus territory.
Oh, wow, yeah. We'll see.
But first, we got to see Jackson's run again.
This kid is electric. He's like a little blur on the screen as he's running by here. Hey, it's just simple. Right off tackle, lineman blocking, and he does it all himself here. He just turns on the jets, and he is gone. He gets by that one guy who tries to get a shoulder, and that was it.
And just like an old song from Information Society, Jackson's probably thinking, I'm running so hard to find the end zone, and I'm running so fast.
That's a great quote. I like that one there. I love Information Society.
I mean, he's ready. I mean, they might have to put a stone wall to stop it. He can run over it.
I mean,
for all
you
we
know,
know.
defensively wise, I don't know. I mean, you know, you just got to be able to make some plays here. You know, once again, they're probably what's happening is they're just not blitzing the right gaps either, and they're leaving holes open for him to shoot through. You know, but I would think that you go to a four-man front and you know just bring the backers to every other gap that the defensive lineman is not going through.
Well, here's the kickoff, and I don't think, you know what, they probably should have kicked it a little shorter, only because that's only a 25-yard net. So the touchback means Freehold gets a 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line, which is actually better field position for Hillsborough than the other possessions that the Patriots have had.
That's true. This is probably by far, you know, the least, you know, yardage that they've gotten on a return. So, you know, once again, Hillsborough needs to step up defensively wise. Seems like they're getting in the rhythm. They're controlling the line of scrimmage. They're learning and they're understanding that they can't get upfield too quickly. They're maintaining their rushing lanes.
You know what? I think the defense told Jackson, "Can't you give us more of a rest?"
Yeah, they would ask for a little more rest. You're correct.
Well, here they are back out on the field, 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line. We'll see what Nick Cardone has in his tank here as he takes a snap. Looking, firing at the middle, flag is down. Only a short gain to the 23. Let's see what the penalty's on it.
77 White. Was that good? Was that a good pass? Coach, you want to take him back with holding?
So a hold against Freehold Township.
Holding. White 77. Still first down, go to half the distance.
The foul occurred inside the 20, so it's going to be half the distance to the goal.
Right. Well, once again, the pass was completed. They were, the receiver was able to get behind the backers, and get, they were able to complete the pass. So they got to make sure that they just, get a better drop. I mean, I get that they're trying to create some pressure, but what they were doing with the line and the linebackers just holding their gaps and their responsibility, not allowing them to scramble and keeping them in the pocket was the best thing they were doing.
So another 10-yard penalty, which turned out to be half the distance anyway. So 1st and 20 from the 10 as Cardone takes the snap. He's looking. He'll be chasing away. And he's knocked down! And the ball is out, and it's Hillsborough, I believe! Yes, indeed! And it's Chimney Azokbar, who just pulled off the Jason Friday the 13th recovery as you will ever see. And Hillsborough strikes again, forces a turnover, and it's 1st and goal from the 2.
Great job. That's the defense we've gone to love here at Hillsborough. Real tenacious, real strong. Come up with big plays when needed. When needed. Here's where you take command of the game if you score in here.
All right, so 1st and goal from the 2-yard line, looks like, and Jankowitz is in there. And so is Zion Grant. Let's see if Zion gets a turn here. No, it's Jackson. And I think, yep, he is.
Touchdown.
End zone.
Great job. Another late flag.
That's 4 for Jackson Jankowitz. And now a flag down at the end of the play. Temper's flaring a little bit. The officials trying to see what's going on.
78 black.
Okay.
Oh, they're going to get Hillsborough for unnecessary roughness.
It's on black. Does he want to take it here on?
Touchdown should be good because it's after the play.
Okay. After the play, we had a personal dead ball, personal foul, 78 black. Will be assessed on the kickoff.
So the touchdown counts. They will assess the penalty on the kickoff. So, hey, I guess it'll even out for them kicking off at the Freehold 45 the last time.
Yeah. So, once again, we've seen all these penalties on special teams here. So, at this moment, they're not as bad.
All right, extra point, snap, kick on its way. Freehold's band tries to ice the kicker, and it didn't work.
Yeah.
28-13. Now, while we watch the fumble recovery by Azokbar, and you talk about throwing the hatchet, saying post-Happy Halloween.
Yeah, let's see
Joey.
Let's see. He's coming from the opposite side, the backside. He's blitzing, and he's just great pursuit from behind. He doesn't give up on it. And here he comes with the strip. Oh, and does he get the recovery himself?
Yes,
he does. Both strip and recovery. Great job by his part. good job on that tackle there and recovery. Good fumble recovery. And we gave you that replay instead of the touchdown because Jankowicz is just going off right now. We'll have another one later. I'm almost certain.
If he runs another like that, I'm sure we'll get another one there. It's been the Jackson Jankowicz show. All 4 rushes have been for touchdowns for Jankowicz from 3, from 51, from 70, and just now from 2.
The kid's on fire this evening. He's managed to get over his 1,000 yards for the season, and now he's got, 4 touchdowns tonight?
I mean, there's no question. I mean, he's definitely triple digits in yardage in this game. Probably maybe give this guy a break when Hillsborough gets the next possession and get him fresh for the second half.
Well, we don't know.
Number 97, Zach,
yeah.
on to kick for the Raiders.
So, you mean, let's see what we get here. Let's see how good of a kickoff we can get here, and the coverage has to be great on this one.
All right, well, following the unnecessary roughness on Hillsborough after the touchdown, this time to make up from kicking at the 45 of Freehold, they kick from their own 25-yard line. And this is the second time they've done this here. Let's see what happens with this kickoff. And it's a traditional kickoff. Taking about the 30-yard line, turning right, and not getting too much more down to the 39-yard line. That was Nicholas Scacchini who brought the kickoff down, and Jaden Carter made the stop.
Good coverage by Hillsborough again. I mean, even though there was a penalty, they were able to just get him, allow but so many yards, on that kickoff return. So it looks like now they move. Yeah, he got it up to the 40-yard line just about. So.
Well, right now the pressure's on Freehold Township, and keep in mind we're just a hair over halfway through the second quarter. There's a lot of time left.
Yeah,
well, 12 hairs, we'll just say.
Right.
5:48 left till halftime.
Well, like I said, defensively wise, they're smarter now on the defensive line. They're controlling the line of scrimmage and not allowing to give him space to run. So
here's Cardone. Let's see if he options to know. He keeps it himself.
Great job.
Stop. Oh, there was a battering ram by the name of Andrew Advani, who said no thank you, but I think he may have paid for it. He may have. And it looks like he's shaken up here. So while we do this, as Advani is being looked at, let's give some thank yous to the Hillsborough sponsors here on HSG Network. Angelo's 2, Bagel Bistro, Cater to Fair Deli, Mailbox Business Center, Milan Rose, Norman's Hallmark, Signs by TNT, American Tire and Auto Service, that is Hillsborough Goodyear, Hillsborough Funeral Home, Hillsborough Youth Sports, Nielsen Financial Group LLC, Rita's Italian Ice, Tropical Smoothie, A1Spotless.com, AMB Landscaping of Central Jersey, Bella Pizza of Hillsborough, Functional Physical Therapy, Hillsborough Education Association Pride Committee, Keepo Siding and Windows, National Pools and Spas, Pez Electric Services, Total Care Physical Therapy PC, University Orthopedic Associates, Provident Bank, The Plumber, Republican Club, that says The Plumber on here, Republican Club Mayor Britting and Committeeman Lipdani, the Sean O'Hara Foundation, Country Classics, Flair Dance Academy, Hillsborough Podiatry Group, Just Subs of Hillsborough, Landscape Materials Incorporated, Larkin Associates, Moreno Sport Fishing, Petrick's Bar and Grill, Petrus Liquors, and finally, Pinnacle Health and Fitness. All the sponsors here for Hillsborough football this year. Glad to recognize all of them here on HSG Network. Advani got up, thankfully, walked off on his own power. Probably just got a stinger. 2nd and 9 from the 41-yard line. And let's see what Cardone does here as Hillsborough defense is starting to fire off here. Back to pass. Off his back foot, and that pass is caught beautifully, crossing midfield and getting a key first down.
Good job. Good job. Good pass. I mean, they were trying to get a little pressure on him. They weren't able to get there. And it's a good timing routes. He's got some really good timing with his receivers here. And, it doesn't help that Hillsborough's playing so soft. They're playing really soft. I mean, you're up, 2 possessions, but at the same time, I don't feel that we should be playing that soft. I feel that they should be a little more pressed on these coverages here.
He got 10, and Scacchini, who made the catch, gives the first down to Freehold at the Hillsborough 49-yard line. Now Cardone will wait the snap. He takes. Back the pass, pressure on, throwing to the right and a bit high, incomplete. That was a good try there,
Good.
but Hillsboro's defense was very equal to the task there.
Yeah, and number 10 for Hillsboro has been really busy this evening there.
Kevin Jones.
Kevin Jones, he's been tested a bunch of times this evening, and I think they're going to keep going at him. As long as they leave him on man coverage, they're gonna try their best to get something on him there.
All right, so 2nd and 10 from the 49-yard line. It looks like they are going empty gun this time, going heavy on the left. Actually, it's the right, I beg your pardon. Cardone looks everything over. Taking his good old time, waiting for the signal for 10 and under left on the play clock. Remember, officials keep that time on the field. Now Cardone back, pressure on, backward. Has a throw of his back foot, ends up throwing it incomplete. Yeah. And he took a shot by Xander Borowski, who helps him up. Obviously, it's a football play and good sportsmanship there.
Great sportsmanship there, picking them back up, which was a good job. But once again, if you saw the defense that they were just running, they would look like they were back in the cover 2, but the corners were pressed now, Tom. So they were able to disrupt the timing on those routes that the Freehold has between the quarterbacks.
And now all of a sudden, we got a little bit of a dissension here, and a flag just went down.
Snatched his tail. I didn't see it.
What happened?
He snatched his tail.
We got it.
Let's see what this.
7 black,
Yeah. And 52
dead ball,
white.
and 52 white.
So it's offset.
It's going to offset it.
Both got unsportsmanlike.
Hey, we got a dead ball, unsportsmanlike on 57 black. We got a dead ball, unsportsmanlike on 52 white. They offset each other. Hey, coach, you better calm him down or he's going.
Well, that kind of says it all right there. Referee Michael Rotter making sure that decorum is still on this field because obviously tensions are getting a bit ramped up.
I mean, it's a good idea to bring him out for one play, get his head back in the game. He's having a pretty good game tonight, so you don't want to take him out of it too much, but you don't want him to cost you 15 or cause
being disqualified from the game too. You don't want to do that either.
So heads up on the mics being ref this evening again, as always by HSG Network.
The mic on.
The mic on the ref. So
very interesting there. Anyway, it's 3rd and 10 as the ball's at the 49-yard line. We've had 2 incompletions in a row.
So
let's see what the Hillsboro's defense does as the crowd gets back into it. Hillsboro up 28-13 in what has been a very spirited game on both sides here.
Yeah, both teams have been picking it up as far as attitudes go. So,
all right, they reset the clock. 3rd and 10 from the 49. Let's see what happens with Cardone. He'll take the snap, backs up, has a little time. Now he's going to lob right, and it is a little bit off, incomplete.
Good coverage by number 7 on that play there.
Tamai was the intended receiver, but we also have a flag down, and it's going to be roughing the passer on Hillsboro. Oh, that's a tough break for Hillsboro.
That's a tough break for Hillsboro.
That's a first down.
We're going to play roughing the passer. 73 black. Going to be first down. 73. He hit him in the head.
It was a hit to the head by Garrett Roebuck. You can't do that. And now make it 1st and 10 at the 34-yard line.
Yeah, like I said,
break.
Like I said, I mean it's 4 minutes and 55 seconds left in this half, but those penalties are hurting you because you're allowing the ball to move.
I think the officials are just clamping down here. Here's Cardone faking a pass, backing up, and now throwing a screen, and guess what? Another flag is thrown further than the pass was.
Coach!
It's going to be against Freehold Township from what we see.
We're going to play 52 white holding. 10 yards from the previous spot.
Needless to say, the Hillsboro crowd's liking that call. So I'm telling you right now, the officials are getting control of this game, and that's why we're seeing so many penalties so quickly.
Yeah, I think that's the message they're trying to send right now. We got control of this game. You guys are not going to lose. You guys are not going to dictate to us what goes on here. They want to make sure these kids, play clean and fair and have a good game this evening here.
All right, so it's 1st and 20 back at the 44-yard line. I mean, we've had a lot of penalties in this drive alone. Cardone again, empty gun to go heavy right. Takes a snap. He's going to lob up the middle, and the pass is caught at, I believe, the 36. Looks like he just scooped it off the ground, never hit the turf. And a nice catch on the part of Nicholas Skicci, and it ends up being 2nd and 12 and an 8-yard pickup.
It was a good catch. I mean, came close to hitting the ground, but he managed to get both his hands underneath that, which was good. And once again, he was the number 2 receiver. There was no one on him to disrupt the route, and the timing routes, once again, with the quarterback and receivers is really good for Freehold.
So now the ball at the 36-yard line. They go back to spread on 2nd and 12. Cardone is back. He's rolling right. Pump fakes. Now he's going to lob, and it's knocked away, incomplete. Cooper Carsey got a paw on it and knocked it away. The intended receiver was Amari Jimenez, and a good job by Carsey to knock it away.
Great job by Carson to knock it away. I mean, he was right on the receiver's hip. It was a bit open there before a second, but, he was covered very well by the defender. So, good job.
Don't know what just got me there, but it is 3rd and 12 from the 36-yard line. I don't know if it was the incomplete pass bug or a cold front coming through, literally.
It might have been that incomplete pass.
All right, now we're going to have a timeout called by Freehold Township. They'll use their second. So let's take a break with 4:01 left in the first half with Freehold trailing Hillsborough 28-13. We'll come back in just a moment. As we return to Hillsborough High School, 4:01 left in the first half. Just to give you the reset, Patriots have 1 timeout left. Hillsborough has 2. Keep in mind, Hillsborough won to toss and receive to begin the game. Freehold Township will get the ball to start the second half, barring any onside kicks. Right. So 3rd and 12 from the 36-yard line. Very, very important play for head coach Corey Davies and the Freehold Township Patriots here. As we're going to see Nick Cardone in the shotgun. A key play here is a spread on 3rd and 12. Back to pass. Looking, going to shoot right. And it's a one-hopper, incomplete. Went the direction of Jimenez, and it was just short. And it'll force a 4th and long.
Wow. Even though he was open, the ball was underthrown, it wouldn't have been a first down unless he breaks a tackle. But, once again, Hillsborough playing so soft. He might have heard the footsteps, but regardless, the ball was too short for him to do anything with. But still, I think that Hillsborough playing so soft on the corners is not so much a good idea, even on 4th and 12. You got to press a little bit because it's all about timing with Freehold.
All right, well, this is a big play here in this first half. 3:56 left. It is 4th and 12. Good news is Xander Borowski back in the game for Hillsborough. And now Cardone will take the snap on 4th down. He rolls left, takes a look, and he goes down, and boy, did he get flattened. Xander Borowski rested a couple of plays and said, I got this. And did he ever, forcing Freehold to turn the ball over on downs. That is an emphasis there. A couple of exclamation points.
That was a big exclamation point there. And the best thing was he made the tackle, got up and walked away, celebrates on the sideline. Good job by that young man, but great defensive play by the Hillsborough there. Exactly what they needed now. Come back and get the offense rolling.
And the key was getting Xander back and mentally ready to become an impact player after what happened a few plays ago.
Mm-hmm.
But the reality is Hillsborough gets it thanks to Borowski's sack, and it's 1st and 10 to 45. Back to pass is Seaman, who's going to fire one, and it's incomplete. That was very close to being intercepted. Jake Ratner was in on the coverage. It was intended for Schwartz. But, boy, that was a close call. Obviously, Seaman hasn't passed the ball. We do have a flag down. It's going to be on Hillsborough.
76, Greg, 76. During the play, we had 76 black holding. Still first down. We're on a snap.
All right, so 1st and 20 following that 10-yard penalty for holding.
Yeah, penalties right now. I mean, once again, it's a 2-possession game, but, every possession is still very important here, right? Because there's no tomorrow. You want to maintain this lead. You want to keep possession of the ball. You want to run this clock out.
Well, they're going to go 4 receivers, tripling the near side. Back goes Seaman. He'll throw in the middle. There's Jankowitz at the 45. Jukes a couple. Still going. I hear Chris Berman from a mile away go, whoop, whoop. And then whoop, a flag goes down. And Jackson goes down to 49, possibly a block in the back. We'll see what the official says about this one. It's going to be negated.
6. As soon as he came around, right from that spot. So we're going to go 10 from this spot, right? We're going to take Bruce right here. Bruce. From that. Hey, during the run, 76 black, blocking the back. From 10 from here.
All right, so a block in the back on Hillsborough. That'll be 10 yards from the spot of the infraction. And it's almost like we're going to do this down all over again.
Yeah, technically.
The funny thing is, it's a gain of 2 net.
That's exactly what I was just about to say. Funny thing is, they gained yardage on that, on the
18.
penalty.
Oh man, 1st and 18. Now Hillsborough's got to get back in there offensively. Now they haven't been on the line, haven't been on much as a team because Jackson's been running all over the place.
Right.
Here he lines up as a receiver on the outside, tripling the left, and they're going to hand it off to Barker. And Barker will get his way to about the 43. So he's able to get 5 on the play. We haven't called Brandon Barker today, but he's able to get 5 and force a 2nd and 13. So all this basically equates to a 3-yard loss on 1st down.
Right. That's what it comes down to, right, with the penalties and all. And now we got 2nd and 13. And it was a good run play by Barker there on his first carry of the game. Offensive line did a good job blocking.
That was a gain of 6 because it's 2nd and 12 from the 43. Here's Seaman back to pass, looking, gonna take a shot. He's got Jankowitz a little bit high, incomplete. Fans thought Jankowitz was tugged. The official said, no, we're done throwing flags for now. And it ends up being 3rd and 12.
That was a good.
Always discretionary.
Hey, listen, they're gonna flag what they're gonna see, or they're gonna call what they want to call, but. Good call on there on Hillsborough's part, to try to take a shot at the end zone right now. It's 3rd. It was 2nd and long. Why not try to get everything at one shot, but you got 2 more downs to get the 1st down. Also, you want to just maintain, the clock running, even though it stops on an incomplete pass here, but.
3rd and 12 from the 43, same formation. Seaman back to pass, looking. He'll move left. He's being chased. He's running backwards for his life, and the pass is nearly intercepted. That was thrown to double coverage. The nearest guy was Noah Marchica, the senior, who nearly came away with it. So that was a little bit of a scary drive for Hillsborough. They tried doing them mostly passes, and Freehold's defense really churned up the defense that time.
Yeah, they did. They did a much better job there on defense. A lot more defenders around the ball, too, on the passing play. But, it was strange how Hillsborough came out passing there as opposed to running the ball. They've been doing so well, this first half.
Well, you can't go to the well one too many times, and you don't want to risk something terrible happening. All right, punting for Hillsborough, standing at the 31-yard line, and hopefully a better punt this time. And luckily no pressure. Neutral bounce, though, and it'll roll out of bounds close to the 38-yard line. So a little bit of a better punt, but that is where Freehold will begin with 2:20 left in the half and 1 timeout and down 15, looking to cut the lead in half before going to the locker room.
Great field position for Freehold right now. I'm not sure if this is their best field position when they started, but still a good place to start right now.
Well, let's not forget Hillsborough turned the ball over in their own territory, and one play later was Freehold's first touchdown.
Yeah, so right now Hillsborough has to come up with something. You got to know he's going to pass the ball these next couple of series here. So let's see what he comes up with.
So, unfortunately, a penalty-filled drive for Hillsborough leads to the defense getting back on the field again. And now Cardone back in the shotgun. They're going to go, looks like a triple on the left side. Actually, might be 3 wide slot left. Back goes Cardone, 1st and 10. Tries to run.
Oh.
He will. Now he's going to lob. He's got a man, and it's juggled and incomplete.
Nope, incomplete.
They went in the direction of Jimenez, who almost came down with it. That would have been a tough reception anyway, but that was a good effort, though.
It would have been a really tough catch for him to make, but, I mean, there was a clear hold on this play just now, and the ref did not call that. But, you know, once again, it ain't a penalty if they don't see it.
Well, it may also be that or selectiveness, but at the same time, and we got kind of keep it balanced here. And speaking of which, here's a flag a minute later, but what's this all about?
On black.
Oh, they're going to call a sidewide warning against Hillsborough. So it's just a warning. Yeah, I think somewhere on the field, and that's probably why the flag was thrown. 2nd and 10 for the 39. They go spread again as Cardone will be in the shotgun as he's been all game, pretty much. Takes the snap. He's looking in the pocket, out of the pocket, running, firing deep. Does he have somebody? Intercepted! And it's guess who? Jackson Jankowicz. He's the ball hog. Forget a healthy Deron Bland. It's Jackson Jankowicz who comes through the interception, and Hillsborough gets the ball back, forcing the 2nd turnover by Freehold.
Great job by Jankowicz. He was playing, I think he was playing safety on that play or corner.
He was playing deep left center, that's for sure.
That's true too. Yeah, but he's down, he's outside, he's a corner right there. So good play by him. You know, if you're playing it right, you know, you have your safety over the top, your corner trailing underneath. It was a double move. Oh, there it is. So
and then the double coverage and causing it to be a little bit underthrown. And Jankowicz.
That was the key there, Tom. You had it right. Underthrown. The ball was underthrown because the receiver did manage to get behind both of the defenders.
Man, I tell you, that is some tremendous concentration by Jankowicz here. 1st and 10. Seaman back to pass. He'll go up the middle. It is caught and taken up at the midfield stripe and still going out of bounds. Thrown down. And they're not going to throw laid it out of bounds. A trash can took the worst of Sanjay Mills, who made the catch. I was actually surprised they didn't add 15 to that one, because that could have been unnecessary roughness.
It could have definitely have been unnecessary roughness there. But, you know, once again, refs are calling what they're going to call. But, right.
All right, so it ends up being a 1st down. Looked like a 13-yard pickup there.
Good catch, good run, good pass.
So 1st and 10. Remember, Hillsborough has 2 timeouts to use. Back goes a pass, and it's a one-handed grab. Is it no? It's an incomplete pass. It is an incomplete pass. Mills almost decided to do what half the receivers, including O.J. Beckham in his youth, does and catch a ball. Well, let's put it this way. That would have been a better catch than a Beckham, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that was
Odell. I said OJ. Whoops.
That would have been a great catch if he was able to come down with it. So
anyway, it is incomplete, so it's 2nd and 10. Well, that was a great effort. Let's take a look. Watch the catch. Yeah, there you can see. Yeah. Well, he was in the air.
All right.
But the official said no, may not have had control, so it is 2nd and 10 from the 44. Here's Seaman back to pass. He's throwing right. Jankowicz has it. Crossing the 40. Juke move. A couple more to the 30. Oh, is he going to do it again? You're kidding me.
Oh, my God.
Ready, player 1. Clear the area again. Welcome to the end zone. And it's the Jackson Jankowicz show here at Hillsborough High School.
Wow. I thought for sure he was had on that play. He just did a little juke move there. He hit the juke button, came back, and then took off down the sideline again. His speed is amazing right now.
I mean, we're going to be a lot of eye doctors out for appointments on Monday mornings because his speed is so blinding, everyone's hurt by it.
I would say so.
All right, here's the extra point. Snap kick on its way. 5 for 5 is the extra point kicker, and it's 35-13. This time it's a 44-yard touchdown reception from Ryan Seaman to Jackson Jankowicz. And I interviewed both of them last week, and here's why.
Simple, we put it on the out, right? And then here he is. This is his juke move. He stepped in, stepped out, stiff arm a little bit. That's it. Off to the races he was.
Probably didn't spend enough time in the video room reviewing this. I mean, this is insane what we are seeing tonight from Jackson Jankowicz. Well over 200 all-purpose yards, rushing and receiving.
Yes.
I mean, that's just insane. I think the only thing left to do is run a kickoff or a punt back for a score.
We still got a whole half of that. We still have a whole half of that if they decide to try to kick the ball to him.
So we're down to a minute 24 left in the half. And it's 35-13 Hillsborough. I mean, this is really insane. And this time Hillsborough is going to kick off from its normal spot of the 40-yard line.
So we're having a normal kickoff for the first time?
Normal high school kickoff in the state of New Jersey.
All right.
Of course, other states may vary, but this is New Jersey. All right. Referee blows the whistle, and here comes the freshman, Zach Frund, approaching and kicking it off. It's a high pop-up, taking it about the 20-yard line. Left side trying to get to the 30 and barely gets across it. That was once again Nicholas Skiki who was able to return it to about the 30. Now this is a must score for Freehold. Here's why. You have one timeout, you got a minute 17 left, and you get the ball to start the second half. So if they can score and make it a 2-score game, come back and score again, suddenly you got a game again. But they've got to do it both.
They got to strike quickly. I mean, we've seen them come with one play, one touchdown really fast. So they're capable of doing it. Question is, if they're going to be able to get that off right now, the way Hillsborough's been playing defense.
1st and 10 now from the 30-yard line. They empty gun, triple right here for Cardone. Will take the snap and call his own number. Let's see if he can do some magic with his legs. Well, he does a little bit. And gives you about maybe a 10-yard gain to the 40. And they do move the chains.
Keeps the clock running. They really didn't gain anything out of that. You want to get the ball downfield.
Well, let's see if he can do it here as they hurry it up. Back to pass, throwing. Oh! Interception! And this time the thief happens to be Khalif Huzalaya, the senior.
Good job.
That's how it should be pronounced.
Good job by the defense. Once again, they had pressure, and the defender opted not to jump or anything, just keep his feet so that he can't make a move. He forced him to throw the ball. He made a bad pass. Great play by the defense, interception.
And, I feel for these Freehold Township kids. They really struggled the last couple weeks, especially in their matchups against Manalapan and Middletown North, where, unfortunately, they wanted to really perform a lot better here, but unfortunately, this score is heading in the direction of both of those games. 1st and 10, as Seaman is back to pass on a play fake. He wanted to go hit the home run, but instead he's going to throw off his back foot, and it is caught. Oh, no, he didn't come down with it. I'm sorry. Incomplete. And he got undercut a little bit. Once again, trying to be the superstar, Sanjay Mills. I think he's a junior. Let me check. Yeah, he is a junior. We're going to see a lot more of him next year. That's for sure.
More than likely. Yep. I mean, he made a good try on the ball. So he is tall. He's a tall receiver too. So,
I mean, we got a 6. I mean, what is he? He's only 5'11". He's still got a couple years to grow.
Yep.
Well, whatever it is, he got some height on that ball. Let's just put it that way. So it will be 2nd and 10 from the 49-yard line. And let's see. what Seaman does. He's got fire. And,
Oh,
and once
almost.
again, they went to Mills, who's trying to come through with some circus catches. But to the credit of Freehold's defense, they've been knocking the ball out.
They are. They're continuing to stay with the receivers and be able to knock the ball away. You know, I think what Hillsborough is trying to get here is that certain amount of points so that the clock can just continuously run. So, you know, that may be the reason why they're trying to get it in the end zone now, so that when they start the second half, that clock is running and there's no stopping it.
I think it's either 32 or 33 points where you have a running clock. We're at 22 right now, so it's going to take 2 more scores and some more good Hillsborough defense for that to happen.
All right, well, once again, here we are. They're out here on offense, so let's see what they can do. They got 3rd and 10.
From the 49-yard line, 3 wide slot right now. Schwartz in motion, and they'll go into a split back audibilization.
Defense showing
Siemens
blitz.
will give to Jankowicz. Cuts through. He's not going to get too much. He'll get to the 47-yard line. Hey, I think the key is to just play it safe and protect the ball.
Right, that would be the key, but that's how you stop Jankowicz right there. You bring up 5 guys to the line of scrimmage, and you make sure everyone has their right gap full and be able to, made it.
Here's another thing to stop Jankowicz. End the half. Hillsborough's not going to run another play. I can promise you that, unless Freehold decides to use their last timeout. They're going to line up to see if they're going to punt, or they're just going to let the clock run out. Oh, they are going to go one more play, and they're going to go Hail Mary. Will they have somebody? No, they won't. Incomplete, but that's okay. They had Santiago there, but what a first half for Hillsborough as they poured it on in the second quarter with 28 points and going to the locker room with a 35-13 lead over Freehold Township. Your thoughts on that one?
Great first half by Hillsborough. I mean, started off a little shaky defensively wise, giving up the quick touchdowns, but managed to settle down, and now, they're doing much better, and, offensively wise, they're back on track. Jankowicz is doing it all again this evening for Hillsborough.
Okay, here's what we're going to do for halftime. We're going to do a couple of commercials, and then we're going to replay the post-game interview for Hillsborough against Hunterdon Central, where I interviewed quarterback Ryan Seaman and Jackson Jankowicz, and you'll hear that in just a moment. Your halftime score, Hillsborough 35, Freehold Township 13. Let's take this break, and the interviews from last week will come your way after this.
Get ready for Countdown to Christmas, only on Hallmark Channel.
I'm going to bed.
Christmas makes me believe in love.
All right. We are back here at David Noonan Field in Hillsborough as the Hillsborough Raiders defeated the Hunterdon Central Red Devils by a count of 48-14. And I'll tell you what, 2 of the people who have made this comeback season happen, to my right or to your left if you're watching, Jackson Jankowicz, and to your right, quarterback Ryan Seaman. Let's start with Jackson. 3 more touchdowns today. What has turned the season around for you?
I feel like it's just me and the offensive line have such a great connection at this point. And my boy over here, we just every game we play, our goal is just to run through our opponent and just make them not want to play at the end of the game.
And the first passing play, Ryan, 47 yards to Jackson. What'd you see on that play?
As soon as I motioned him out there, I saw his one-on-one coverage, him and a linebacker, and I knew he would burn him, so I had to give him a shot, dude.
Well, you threw for 3 touchdown passes. Jackson ended up scoring 3 himself. You came onto the scene like a house of fire 2 years ago, especially those kickoff returns here on this field. What has changed for you since you got going with your special teams play?
I feel like I still love special teams. Every time I get a chance to be on the special teams, I always try to make plays. It's probably one of my favorite parts of the game, and it's what got me to this point, so I'm always grateful for it.
And Ryan, explain to me how you've improved, especially in the second half this year. Now you've won 4 in a row, and it looks like you'll be playing again next week.
I think it's getting a better connection with my guys, my receivers, and also offensive line, getting on the same page with them, and just throughout the season it's developed.
And considering how everything's happened, especially in the last few weeks, what do you see going forward, Jackson? How do you see this team shaping up playoff-wise?
I think we're just going to shock everybody, and we're going to take it all the way to the state championship.
Well, I don't know. Hey, were you two there 3 years ago when Hillsboro was a state champion?
Yeah, we were freshmen.
Sounds like a song of the same name.
Yeah.
So what's it going to, as we wrap it up, what's it going to take to get to that point again?
The energy needs to be up. It was great today, and I think it's got to be like that for the rest of the season. No matter who we play, we should bring our A game.
Jackson, quick.
We're just going to keep the energy going in practice, and we're going to mess up every team in front of us.
We'll see what happens. Jackson and Ryan, congratulations, and thank you on a wonderful year. Best of luck in the playoffs. There you have it, my friends. Jackson Jankowicz and Ryan Seaman, the stars of our game, as Hillsboro defeats Hunterdon Central by a score of 48-14. For Joey Pagan, Howard Gaber, I'm Tom Wilkins. Thanks for watching, and see you next Friday here from Hillsboro. Have yourself a good night, everybody.
When you want reliable work, trust family-owned A&B Landscaping to make your property look its best. With over 25 years of experience, our design team will help create an oasis in your backyard with landscaping, hardscaping, retaining walls, and more. Our commercial customers rely on us for landscaping and maintenance too. So no matter what type of property, we can handle it. We're the company you can trust, so give us a call today.
Get ready for Countdown to Christmas, only on Hallmark Channel.
I'm going to bed.
Okay, we are back. Well, somewhat back as people cross into the camera feed here. Getting ready to start the second half here from David Noonan Field here in Hillsboro with the Raiders up 35-13 over the Freehold Township Patriots. You see us here on the right. I'm Tom Wilkins. To my left, Joey Pagan and Howard Gaber taking care of the controls. And I'll tell you, a 28-0 second quarter for Hillsborough has really got this game wide open. But for Freehold, they can get back in this game, but they have to chip away and they have to do it quick.
I mean, they do get the ball back now in the second half. Freehold does. I mean, when we saw that they're capable of scoring very quickly, and being able to score points fast. But I mean, Hillsborough has made some really good adjustments defensively wise, to be able to come up with some big stops on fourth down and get the ball to get turned over. So, I mean, if Hillsborough continues playing defense in that manner, this game it'll be over quickly this evening.
Well, Freehold's about to make its way onto the field now, so it'll just be another minute or so before we begin the second half. So the big thing here about this game is it's been the Jackson Jankowitz closeout special, shall we say, and 4 rushing touchdowns. He got over 1,000 yards rushing for his senior season, so both goals accomplished. 5 touchdowns total, 1 receiving, 4 rushing. How is Freehold going to be able to stop him in the second half?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, that there's the answers for that. I mean, we saw the second half, the end of the second half, where they were able to bring everyone up to the line of scrimmage and, be able to cover every gap and not allow him to get outside or go cut inside. So, I mean, that could be one thing. But then you got, once again, you got other receivers on this Hillsborough team that can open it up if they play action, worrying about the run. And if he went out to become a wide receiver also, how do you stop him there? So, you double him down, you bracket him, something you have to do, but it's almost going to be impossible because you're just going to leave someone else open on this Hillsborough offense, which is really electrifying this evening.
And Joey, I think Hillsborough has done a much better job containing Nick Cardone, especially in the second quarter when he forced 3 turnovers, a forced fumble, and 2 interceptions. After Hillsborough got off to such a shaky start, I think Kevin Carty Jr. has found a way to get his players in the right position, doing the right things to make sure that Hillsborough has the lead that they do right now, setting things up for the offense.
Right. I think with the key was with patience. Right. The defensive line was getting in and over pursuing and allowing him to step up and find the gap to run through. Now they're not getting upfield as far, and they're containing him and making him stay in that pocket, and then flushing him out at some point and making a play and getting a sack. So, that's been the best thing that they've done so far defensively. They would need to continue doing that this next half to be able to maintain that, not have the offense come in and score any points here in the second half for free.
And I would not be surprised. I mean, obviously, as we mentioned at the start of the game, Freehold Township, predominantly a passing team, almost similar to run and shoot and all that stuff. They're going to need to be pretty much on point the whole way if they're to get back in this game. And let's see what their head coach can do as far as adjustments did. They probably took a couple extra minutes in halftime trying to make sure all the assignments are covered, and we'll have to wait and see what happens as we get this second half going. So I just want to let everybody know here, for those of you watching here from Hillsborough here on the HSG Network on YouTube, we want to thank you guys for a wonderful year. And the only way we come back is if somehow Hillsborough defeats Rancocas Valley, provided the score stays the way it is. Rancocas Valley beat Edison. So next week, if the score holds, it'll be Hillsborough at Rancocas Valley. The only way a home game happens again will be if Toms River North loses, because they're the number 1 seed. They play Bridgeton, and then they play the winner. If Toms River goes forward, they'll play the winner of Howell and Kingsway. So depending on how things go, more than likely, this is our last broadcast here on HSG Network this season. So a major thanks to everybody from Hillsborough High School, top and bottom, and all the clubs and the entire gang here. Thank you so much for your support. It's so nice. I mean, I think it's like our 5th year doing this, and we've had fun every single year. Even the COVID year, we had a lot of fun. And, of course, can't forget 3 years ago. I mean, it can still happen again, but it'll take a lot of things falling in the perfect Tetris pieces in order for it to happen. But as I say, you never know. That's why you play.
That's why you play. That's right. And hopefully, next week Hillsborough can come up victorious again and continue on in this run, for a championship here. So we're about ready to kick off. Thank you for everyone, watches and
Yeah.
staying with us here. And
Well, I'll put it to you this way. Before we start the second half, I was contacted by a couple of people who are watching as Freehold Township High School alumnuses from the class of 1991. Carrie, who's out in Florida, and Joanna, who I believe is in Hopewell or Lambertville. I forget which. But crazy shouts to you guys. Thanks for watching our HSG network. They just happen to be college graduates of mine, too, from 1995. So just want to shout them out. Hopefully everybody is well at their respective locations. All right, referee blows his whistle, and we're ready to kick off the second half of play. And we are underway. High pop-up taking about the 23-yard line. Stutter sets the tackle and gets to about the 30-yard line. So that is where Freehold will begin on 1st and 10. And I know it's 8:54 in the PM for those of you watching, but we've had a ton of incompletions. We had a lot of penalties in the second quarter. That's why the game has gone as long as it has.
yeah, hopefully this second half is penalty free, and we do a little more running, or some completed passes, and we can just keep going, so we can hopefully just be able to continue on with the clock running and moving. But once again, starts here right now. Hillsborough needs to come up big with this.
Okay, Cardone into shotgun as they go spread once again on 1st and 10. Ball spot at the 30. And they're going to do a running play to start the second half, trying to turn the corner.
Oh.
Getting through one tackle, a little bit of a collision, going down to about the 33-yard line. Anthony Guerrero with the tackle on Justin Tamai with a 3-yard pickup. And look like somebody's shaking up on the play. Oh, and it looks like it's a Borowski that's shaking up. He just went down.
Wow. Yep.
And it could be a cramp. Remember, we for 2 days in a row, we've had 80-plus degree weather, and then tomorrow's going to be 64. So it seems like Wally Coyote's weatherman here, the way these temperatures are. But anyway, as they say, it's unusual weather.
It is. It's been unusually hot these last couple of days here. So if you didn't get all the hydration in prior to tonight, as we all know, you can't hydrate the day of. It's got to be a weekly thing. It's just got to be part of your regimen as an athlete. You got to consistently hydrate and stay ready at any moment, for when you're out here.
And what do you say to the younger football players, especially the high school ones, because we've seen this a lot this year, on not just from Hillsborough side, but so many other teams.
I mean, once again, they have a good, each school has a great training staff, and they should be on their P's and Q's with all of this stuff, as far as getting them to be, hydrated the right way, the proper foods and stuff like that, water and fruits and stuff, all the time.
Yeah, nutrition is obviously so important, and it's like the last 20 or so years, it has been so advanced with sports medicine and so many other things. No wonder these players are performing at the level that they are. Unlike when we were kids, when we were watching, none of that was out there.
Yeah, I didn't have any of that stuff. I wasn't fortunate when I was a kid to do that. And cramps were big, and I would always be cramping up. We didn't know. We just didn't know.
And now we do. So after a 2-yard pickup is 2nd and 8, ball spot at the 32-yard line. And they're going to go empty gun heavy on the right here as Cardone will await the shotgun snap. We'll see if he calls his number like he's done a few times. Oh, a nearly wide snap. He's going to throw one up the middle and nicely caught at the Hillsborough 43-yard line. And that was Dakota Lassiter, the sophomore, who was able to come down with that, grabbing a first down. Guerrero with the tackle.
Right, good pass. Once again, that's the timing routes between the quarterback and the receivers for Freehold are really good. It was good coverage, and it was thrown to the outside where the only person that can receive the ball was the wide receiver out there. So that was good.
Gain of 27 there, so it's 1st and 10, and just like that, the Patriots are at the Hillsborough 41-yard line. Again, going empty gun. Taking the snap and calling his number is Cardone, crossing the 40, turns left to the 30-yard line, and then gets tackled for another first down. Probably another 14 yards as the 6th move.
Right. Once again, I mean, they're predominantly passing team, but right now what he's doing is he's spreading the defense out right now, so that once again Hillsboro, wind up going back to a three-man front, and maybe not blitzing or the ends getting trapped and not containing, their responsibilities, and the defensive tackles not stepping up into the right gap.
Well, think about this. The only two running backs Freehold has are Justin Tamai and the quarterback, Cardone. So he's back to pass here as a throw right side, and a comeback route ends up being caught at about the, looks like 21-yard line. Nice grab by Noah Cancella, who was able to make the grab and then get brought down by Kazmaya.
Right. So, once again, he knew where he was going. The receiver just did a simple out timing pattern, and he managed to get the ball out there. It's got a pretty decent arm to be able to get the ball from midfield out to the sideline, just about almost past the numbers, and complete that pass. So it was a good pass on his part.
So gain of 4 on the pass. Now they're going to go heavy on the left in an empty gun here on 2nd and 6. Let's see what Cardone decides to do. He awaits the snap, goes back, calls his number. He'll come around to the 20-yard line, bounce out of tackle, and he ends up going out of bounds. We'll see where they spot it. Going to give him the 15-yard line.
Once again,
or maybe the 16. Either way, it's going to be a first down.
Once again, he called his own number. I think he was running off, right off tackle. He just continuously sees the holes that are there. The blitz needs to come a little sooner and fill the hole faster for Hillsboro here. You don't want to give up a quick touchdown here either and give this team any life, because, once again, we've seen that they're capable of scoring on one strike.
Both teams have been capable of scoring on one strike.
Yes.
Just ask Jackson. 1st and 10 for the 15-yard line. Cardone to shotgun. Play fake and a pass incomplete. And I'm not exactly sure who Cardone was looking for, but that was a bullet of a pass, but nobody could get it.
It was. I'm not sure that he was looking for that slot receiver and just threw him, threw it away to the right of him, not inside. Managed to throw it a little bit outside. So, but there was another receiver in that same area, so you couldn't tell which one he was intending to throw the ball to.
It might have been a case of miscommunication, or possibly I'm not sure exactly what route to run, and that's probably how things turned out the way that they did.
He might have been anticipating for the receiver just to sit down right there in that spot, and he just kept running. So he threw it where he thought he was going to be, and the receiver just kept running.
All right, so we have 2nd and 10 from the 15-yard line. Again, Cardone in the shotgun with a spread this time. He'll take it, goes back. Now he takes off, and he tries to run, but he is tackled quickly right at the line of scrimmage.
Good job by the defense there.
And I believe it was Ozokpo with the tackle there.
Good job. Good job by Ozokpo there on the tackle. I mean, I believe he's playing outside backer, if not defensive end there. He was able to come off and make a good play there for Hillsboro.
And the thing is, Ozokpo we've been so used to seeing on offense, but he's been predominantly defense today, because I think Cardi was thinking probably get better matchups with other players against especially as we mentioned Sanjay Mills.
Right. And, it's a good thing for them that they have him out there, able to use him right now for those matchups. Let's see what the Freehold Township comes up with there on offense.
On 3rd and 10 from the 15 in the red zone. Cardone back the pass. He's going to roll left, and he's going to lob it.
Oh.
And it's incomplete. It was in the far corner of the end zone, and good coverage again by Kazmaya. So it ends up being 4th and 10, and was actually intended for Nicholas Skieski, the junior, who just could not come down with it. Now big 4th and 10 coming up.
Right, big down here. I mean, they still can get a first down without having to get into the end zone. So, you don't need to run routes deep into the end zone. But the way Hillsboro has been playing so soft, if your receivers run their routes correctly, they can get to those sticks and get a first down without getting into the end zones here. So let's see if Hillsboro decides to press here. I would see them coming up right now. So.
All right, here we go. Empty gun on 4th and 10. Back goes Cardone, looking as time. Gonna take a lob. Pass is caught.
Good catch.
And let's see where they spot it. I think he's got first down. The way they have it, it's inside the 5. Good catch by Noah Cancella. It was 4th and 10. I think he got 10.5.
Okay.
So he was covered by the outside man.
But it's
So he
still
got
going to
a
be.
touch.
But where we at? We're right here, though, right? End of the run?
Oh, we got
John,
penalty
you got the
flag
end. Where's
down,
the
too.
end of the
Hold
run?
on.
Where's the end of the run? Right here? All right, so where's the flag? So we had. Okay. All right, hold on. No, all right. Hey,
Yo, 24, watch it.
we had illegal touching on White.
Wow.
So we're going to go 5 yards back from the line of scrimmage.
An illegal
And then,
touching
hold
foul.
on, Coach. Hold on. You got a first down, but what's going to happen? It's a loss of down because it's a loss of down. It's going to be your ball, sir.
Oh, so illegal
what's gonna happen
touching
right?
is a
We have illegal
5-yard penalty
touching
that will also mean
on
loss
White.
of down.
Loss
and I
of down
believe
on
it is
White.
Hillsborough
Result in
ball.
this is going to be a first
Wow.
down the other way.
Great job. Once again, a HSG Network exclusive. The referees have mics on.
5 yards.
And it would have been 4th down, but the illegal touching wiped it out, and it's loss of down. So Hillsborough gets the ball on downs, and a tough break for Freehold.
And you heard the great explanation on his part so that, everyone out there confused heard what he said and understood that, now it's Hillsborough ball, illegal touching, and it's a loss of down, and that gives Hillsborough the first down. And now they are on offense.
It's very possible the receiver was lined up incorrectly, but it is Hillsborough ball to 20, 1st and 10. And here's Jankowitz. Not going to get too much. He'll get to the 22-yard line. Now we're going to go ahead and check that last play. What do you see, Joey?
I mean, it doesn't seem like the tight end might have been, covered. All right, let's see.
He's in the middle, as you can see on that play.
Oh,
did he? Let's see. Cut.
No, he was out there. He was on the line.
Maybe he didn't report.
Could be that he didn't report, and that was the problem. Or he might have been on the line of scrimmage and been covered, and he wasn't even the eligible receiver.
It could very well
he
be
was
possible
uncovered.
there. All right, it's 2nd and 8. Ball to 22-yard line. Jackson again, and he just tries to get outside. He'll be short of a first down. He gets to the 29-yard line. He ups his total. Mind you, he's got 5 touchdowns already, 4 on the ground.
Right. I mean, if it ain't broke, let's not fix it right now. I mean, you still got, you want to keep the clock moving. You want to maintain possessions. You want to get first downs at this point of the game. And, as far as this evening goes, he's your best bet at the moment, right? You want to continue. So you want to go what's working. So that's what you do.
I'm sure Andrew Schwartz is like, can I get a few of these? And here's the handoff. There goes Jankowitz, crossing the 40 to the 45 and a first down. Gain of 16 as Hillsborough moves the chains. And right now they just want to move the clock.
Right. And this is what I'm saying, right? If it ain't broke, let's not fix it. Let's give him the ball a couple of more times. And, he's been the most productive player this evening. So, why not? You got the clock running. You get the first down. You keep moving. You get the offensive line more time to block and work on their craft, which what they've been doing all evening. They've been doing a great job up front.
All right, so 1st and 10 after a 15-yard pickup, ball to 44-yard line. Seaman in the shotgun, and it's Jackson again. Another hole.
Look at this.
There's midfield, another first down, and he stretches to the Freehold 42-yard line. Another 14 yards. As Jackson just completely piles up the yardage up.
He is just tacking them on all evening. But credit to that front 5. I'm going to tell you right now, player of the game, we can use an offensive line as a player. The whole offensive line, maybe. You may want to let's consider that because what they've been doing, he has all those yards this evening.
How am I going to ask a question to 5 people?
Well, you're right about that, but I would say that would be, my player of the game would be those 5 guys there.
Oh, my goodness. Anyway, now to Freehold 42, 1st and 10, a little more than halfway through the third quarter. And Jackson again.
And here we go
40,
again.
and down to the 35. This time another 7 yards, and it's been all Jankowitz this drive since we began at the 20-yard line.
I mean, once he gets past the line of scrimmage, it's all him after that. He does everything he needs to do to be able to get free and get upfield and get extra yards. But at the initial attack, it is that offensive line. Those 5 guys, they got my vote this evening. They're doing some major work tonight.
And think about this, considering turnovers and other situations, you got to remember that Hillsborough has had 3 one-play drives for touchdowns. So here we go on 2nd and 3 from the 35-yard line. Let's see what he do this time. There we go. It's a handoff somebody else this time. Not as successful. And it was Zion Grant, but he was met behind the line of scrimmage, so he ends up losing a yard. So it makes it a 3rd and 4 coming up.
Yeah, the offensive linemen, once again, I mean, yes, they were able to get in now, but, those 5 guys up front there, you have 75, 78, 77. Yes.
I can say the name. I thought you were giving me a Powerball jackpot for some reason.
Would be.
Be nice, but 3rd and 4 from the 36, and somebody jumps from the Freehold side. And while we go ahead and I'll give you that offensive line here, it begins with a Garrett Meyer, and then you have Joey Battaglia, Alfred Williams, Matthew Bleemer, and the only junior of that bunch, Spencer Marzo. Everyone else is senior.
Great job by that offensive line. And, unfortunately for Hillsborough, that they be losing those guys next year. But, wow, great job on their part tonight. I really do believe they get a lot of credit for this evening.
And I think they also have a very good off-season program where they can condition these offensive linemen. It's obviously going to be a new thing next year. Here's a pass along the side for Santiago. Oh. It's a little wide and incomplete. Good coverage that time by Jake Radner, who's had a nice game. Santiago was running around the near sideline, but the throw was just a little bit wide.
Right, just a little bit wide. But, and that's one of your receivers who normally has an outstanding game. He's been relatively quiet tonight, other than Schwartz getting, a couple of passes and some runs there. But it's all been Jankowicz this evening. But, right now it's what it is. He's trying to get the ball to other receivers at the moment.
It's clear that Jankowicz is carrying this team the way this is going. All right, 2 receivers on the left here on 2nd and 10. And speaking of Jankowicz, he'll cross the 30 and get to the 29-yard line. So a gain of 2 on the play and forces a 3rd and 8.
3rd and 8, that's right.
And a good stop on the part of Jake Platt. And official timeout. And on the far side, there was a Freehold player shaking up, but he'll leave. He'll be okay as he walks off on his own power, and it'll be about 3rd and 8 as they continue to blow whistles. Just, I guess, an official timeout. Sometimes you get a water break,
during official.
But it will be 3rd, and we're going to say about 3rd and 8. Ball be spotted at the 29-yard line. Carty calling the play, talking to Schwartz, Jankowicz, and Seaman, the quarterback. We mentioned Azukbo. He hasn't played much offensively. Here he is, lined up on the left side of the line. So they may go power hungry here. Grant's the lone setback here. However, the handoff is to Schwartz, who slips over and gets a yard to the 28.
Once again,
here's an interesting question. You got a 22-point lead. You want to try a 45-yard field goal?
I don't think so. I think it's 4 if we run the ball here, and you can. I don't think we punt either. I think what we do is we just go for it on 4th down. Obviously you want to get the first, but you maybe a running play here or maybe some kind of play action, to be able to get the 1st down.
Well, they're going to go 4 receivers tripling to right, and Jankowicz will be to the right of Seaman. So they will go for it on 4th down, under 2 minutes left in the 3rd. Back to pass, going to throw left. Pass is caught, and it's a 1st down. How about
number
that?
11?
And it happens to be Sanjay Mills.
Great route by him to be able to get past the sticks. He knew exactly where he had to go to get the 1st down, and that was the play, and he was able to get the 1st down. Good concentration by the quarterback to be able to throw the ball while he was getting ready to be hit.
And he makes a nice catch, too. He needed 8. He got 12. That'll be 1st and 10 as Hillsborough enters the red zone again.
Yep.
All right, so they're going to spot the ball at the 16-yard line, and Hillsborough knocking it again. 1st and 10. Ball spotted at the 16-yard line. And wait a second. Play did not happen. Somebody jumped.
Dead ball. False start. The receiver on the right side, coach, the receiver.
So a receiver commits a false start, which you don't see very often, but it is a Hillsborough penalty and a 5-yard penalty.
The 21-yard line.
And I'll tell you what, our referee today, Michael Rodder's done a great job, not only keeping decorum on the field for the kids, but also making sure his explanations have been on point as to why these are penalties.
That's true. And, he's, taking control of the game earlier in the second quarter, late in the second quarter, that when it was looking like it was going to get out of hand, and the game's been flowing ever since, which is a good thing.
So it's 1st and 15, ball at the 21-yard line. Barker in the game now. He's lined up to the right of Seaman. Rolls right to pass. In trouble. Tries to sneak out of one. He does, but he won't get out of the other. And there are a bunch of Patriots just surrounding him, and he's sacked for a 7-yard. And Seaman's like, how did I get rolled up into that pretzel?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it was good coverage on the backside, and it was they were able to make sure they were able to get in and get some pressure and get the tackle.
Similar to a coverage sack, you could also argue.
Right.
So the ball is at the 28-yard line at 2nd and 22 as we're in the red, final minute of the third period. And Seaman's going to line up empty gun here, heavy on the right. Going to try and take a page out of Cardone's book here. Let's see what he does. Seaman back. Gonna take a shot. Ozukpor couldn't get it. Oh, I'm sorry, it was Jankowicz there. Looked like a 7 to me from that side, but it was hunched away.
Good defense. That once again, that's one way, like I said, how you stop him, right? He went out for a pass. He had 3 defenders around him so that he doesn't make the catch. So it was good defense.
Yeah, it was a nice defensive play.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, it was intended for Jankowicz. I thought it was a Zukpor, but it's hard to catch a ball when you're on the sideline.
It is, and once again, that's how you demonstrate how do you stop that young man, And even then, it was close. Even then, it was still close. He almost had an opportunity to still catch the ball. So,
all right, 3 wide slot right here on 3rd and 22 as Seaman's going to roll right, and then he'll lob it, and the pass ends up being incomplete. There were 2 receivers in that particular area, and I think one may have misrouted the other.
I think so, too, because they looked like their routes were just a little too close to one another. And that just brought an extra defender into the area, and it made it difficult for them to be able to complete that pass.
Well, you can't have any doink long passes that go one way and suddenly got a receiver like Noah Brown saying, like, thank you, just to grab it, so... But in any event, it's 4th and 22, and looks like Hillsborough will try it again, go for it on 4th down with 33 seconds left here in the third quarter.
Right. This would be a big first down to convert here. I mean, if they do manage to convert it, that's a big deal because they go into the fourth quarter with the ball.
We're going to find out. A pass.
Oh,
that was almost on a needle to Sanjay Mills. He couldn't come up with it. Incomplete. Good effort, but Hillsborough will turn the ball over on downs, and Freehold will get at the 28.
Definitely good effort. The safety was good. Good play there by the safety. It was nice and deep, and it wasn't allowing anything. And, once again, good route by the receiver because if he would have completed that pass, it would have been for a first down. So good route. Good route by the receivers.
It would have been close. I don't know if he would have gotten it, but that was at least a good attempt.
Good attempt, yep.
All right, so 1st and 10 from we're going to say the 28-yard line. Let's see how we're going to keep an eye on things here as Freehold looks to a drive here. They go spread. It's Nick Cardone back at the helm. He'll take the snap. Looking, lob up the middle. Good. He didn't have it.
That's a fumble.
Or did it?
Yes.
Wait a minute. They ruled it incomplete. I didn't think he had possession of the ball. The near judge ended up ruling it incomplete.
I mean, it did look like he caught the ball, but he might have been down on his knees when he caught it.
May
So
not have had possession.
Right.
And it might juggle a little bit and then sprout.
Let's take a look here.
Yeah, let's grab a look here and see. I don't think he had possession.
All right, let's see here. I believe it's the slot receiver that comes out. No, the wide receiver comes back. Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, once again, it did look like he had possession, but his knees down. Once his knees touch the ground, that's it. The play's over.
But I don't think he secured it. And I mean, it happens in less than a split second. And I mean, you need if you're officiating a game like this, you gotta have laser eye coordination there. But it's incomplete, and it's 2nd and 10 with 16 seconds left here in the third period. They tripled the left side in an empty gun. Here's Cardone taking the snap, looking, starting to get rushed. He's going to fire, and it's short hopped incomplete. Again, going in the direction of Noah Cancella, the senior. And obviously, for this Freehold team, I mean, the seniors obviously are feeling it a little bit more because this potentially could be their last game in a Freehold uniform if the score holds the way that it is.
True, that's true. So, now what you're seeing is, a little more, a little effort. And, eventually you're probably going to wind up seeing a little play for pride, right? You want to get out. You want to make it your last, catch. You want to try to score, for your last time, as a senior. So we'll see what happens here. I mean, once again, they're empty again. So.
And heavy on the left, 3rd and 10 for their own 28. And once again, Nick Cardone about to take the shotgun snap. He does, has a little time, rolls left. He's going to lob one too high and incomplete. And with 6 seconds left in the third quarter, you're down 3 scores. I mean, 2 extra points and a 2-point conversion, you're going to need to level it. I would say you go for it here.
I would say go for it here too, but I'm not sure. They may be punting right now. I mean, you don't want to give you don't want to turn over the ball here. So, you can get a mistake, you can get another sack and lose even more yards. So you don't want that. You're going to punt, play safe, and try to get some defense going. They just had a good defensive series. So.
Well, I think it's also the first punt today for Freehold. All right, let's see what happens here on the punt. Berto Santiago standing about the 37. A high snap, and he gets it off. Santiago will... Oh, he dropped it. Can he... and it's going to be fouled on by Freehold Township. It looked like he was going to get on the ball, but it is Freehold Township ball as the horn sounds for three-quarter time. And a nice recovery by Noah Marchica, the senior. So it is three-quarter time, and Freehold gets the ball back on a turnover. Hillsborough still leads 35-13. Come back for the final quarter right after this.
When you want reliable work, trust family-owned A&B Landscaping to make your property look its best. With over 25 years of experience, our design team will help create an oasis in your backyard with landscaping, hardscaping, retaining walls, and more. Our commercial customers rely on us for landscaping and maintenance too. So no matter what type of property, we can handle it. We're the company you can trust, so give us a call today.
Okay, we are back here. A sudden turn of events here as Hillsborough muffed the punt to end the third quarter. It is Freehold ball to begin the final quarter of play as they'll be at the Hillsborough 42-yard line, 1st and 10. Hillsborough still comfortably up 35-13. I'm Tom Wilkins, of course, with Joey Pagan and Howard Gaber as usual the controls. 1st and 10. Let's see what happens here on 1st and 10. Cardone with the snap. He's going to roll left this time. Being chased. He is hit as he throws the ball.
Oh.
And is it caught?
Great catch.
Yes, it is.
Wow.
A tremendous catch by Nicholas Skikiki, who was able to come down with it. And into the red zone goes Freehold Township. Folks, they're not out of this yet.
No, they're not. Like, once again, they've demonstrated one play, one strike. They do have the offense, and as we've been saying all night, they're predominantly an offensive passing team, and they got tons of yards passing in the ball. So it's still early. The fourth quarter just began, so anything can happen.
Hey, like USC plays their fight song every time they get a first down. Freehold Township's band, who you saw in the pregame, did a very nice job. They're the ones who played Darth Vader's theme every time their team gets a first down.
Right.
So it'll be 1st and 10. Ball be spotted at looks like the 11-yard line. They can get a first down without scoring. Passes caught, trying to turn the corner. Slips out of one, tackle on another, and he scores! Welcome to the end zone, Noah Cancella with his second touchdown of the game. And boy, he had to slither through a couple
somebody
of
else
spots.
is down.
Yeah, you're right. And it's a Hillsborough player, looks like. And it's on the far side of the field, so Freehold Township does get the goal. The conversion will follow, but let's find out who the shaken up player is on the far side.
Coach, take him to the numbers. Guys, go to your numbers. Go to the numbers.
All right, so I think the officials are telling the players to go to their numbers, but yeah, why don't we go ahead and give the staffs for both teams. Let's start with Hillsborough, of course, led by head coach Kevin Carty Jr., assisted by his dad, Kevin Carty Sr., along with Don Abrams, Wayne Briggs, Vince Coviello, Patrick DiNapoli, PJ Jankowicz, Rocco Mazzagatti, and Tim O'Sullivan. As far as the administration, superintendent's by Volpe, and the principal is Jeff DeLillo. Athletic director is Mike Davis. Trainers are Michael Schiffman and Amanda Miller. And also a thank you to Bruce Wayne of the Touchdown Club. Thank you so much for all your support once again this year with Hillsborough High School football. Also, cheerleading coaches are Samantha Shirk and Amanda Ribello. Team doctor is James Monica. And even though Hillsborough's band was not here tonight, they've had a sensational year, of course, led by band directors Jules Horan and Nick Clipperton. They're still pertaining to the injuries. And oh, hi, everybody. I didn't even notice that we were all here. And I'm trying to get everybody in a shot here. Who's coming in now? Oh, Mike Davis. Hiding behind Joey Pagan.
Right here.
Trying to be the third man in the middle, and we don't know where the middle is.
Just look at the monitor. You're right there. You are.
I'm sitting away. There we go. You got some humor around here, you know. Well, thanks to him, of course, for everything as well. So, man, as we still await the delay of the Hillsborough injury, I'll go ahead and like I said, let's do Freehold's staff, of course, led by head coach Corey Davies, assisted by Matt Hardison, Todd Smith, Bill Day, Jake White, Brian McNamara, Stefan Kaczynski, Matt Ferguson, Mike Lorenzo, Ryan Davies, Mike Verocchi. The trainer is Jeff Scanna, and also for SCCA is Chris Provo. So that's your Freehold Township staff. So while we do this, we still have a lengthy injury timeout. We're going to go ahead and take a break. The conversion for Freehold will be coming up. It's Hillsborough now leading 35-19. Stay with us. We'll be back with that in a moment. Okay, folks, we are back, and we do apologize for the delay. During the Freehold Township touchdown reception, one of the Hillsboro players, who didn't quite get his name, unfortunately suffered a potential head injury and has just been he is being headed over to an ambulance now. We do not know the extent of anything, but out of precaution, they're taking him away, and he'll be seen by local medics and also whoever it is. Our thoughts and prayers that it's nothing serious, but obviously you can't take any chances. I don't think, while we were on this break, I'll tell you right now, I don't think we have ever heard this place be as quiet as anything for any football game.
No, it's been eerie quietness. Everyone's concerned and praying for the young man, and hopefully all is well for him. He just may need to get checked out, and that's it.
Yeah,
Hopefully,
we don't know anything about what's going on, so
Right.
let's hope for the best. But here's the tough part for both sides: getting them mentally back to playing another 11 minutes of football.
That is correct. Now let's see this extra point try here.
All right, so heading for the extra point, and the kicker, which is Lassiter. Let's see what happens here. The snap, kick on its way, low line drive. It's good, and it's a 35-20 game. So, in spite of the lengthy delay that's taken place, folks, we still have a ball game.
Yeah, we still have a ball game. You got a 2-possession game right now. Once again, I've been saying it part of the evening. Where it's their offense is pretty high powered. When they want to be, they can score on a moment's notice, if anything, and who knows here what kind of kickoff we get. If there's a muff or whatever, and they can recover and get back on the board again quickly. So
remember, Freehold Township did do some directional kicking to get away from Jankowitz. Jackson was able to get him in other ways, though. But now Hillsborough has to find some way, somehow, to get back to business without a couple of their key comrades and trying to finish this thing up.
Right. So once again, you got to have your hands team up front, which I believe Hillsborough does, and they're going to wait for this kick. It's probably an onside kick or some kind of directional kick, like you said. Looking hopefully to recover is Freehold. So once again, we will see.
All right. So obviously, at Freehold Township, they're huddling to see what they want to do. I would not be surprised if they try another directional or potential onside kick.
Right.
Now, remember last week to begin the game, Hunterdon Central was able to recover an onside kick, even though in a little questionable detail, they still were successful in doing so. Hillsborough needs to be ready, and this is a very tough mental situation for them right now. Let's see what happens. It is directional, and it's a fair catch. That was a smart play, and that's what you got to do. And now a flag ends up going down right at the very end of the play, and that was Anthony Guerrero. Maybe he was out of bounds when he caught the ball. Or, the kickoff be out of bounds.
50. Then we got a first down. We're going to add 5 to it, Coach, to the 50-yard line, first down.
Okay, so evidently Freehold Township might have been offside. Fair catch was caught at the 45, so they're going to add the 5-yard penalty after the catch. So Hillsborough begins at a midfield stripe. 1st and 10. They're up by 15. Now they want to work on the clock. They're up by 2 scores. Jankowitz up the middle, and he's going with a house of fire with another 10 yards there.
Sir. You may get a big dose of him now within this last 11 minutes here, just so they keep clock running, and obviously they got a first down, which is all important. So, you may get a good dose of the run here, whether it's Jankowitz or any of the other backs.
That's where you got to work on the clock.
Yep.
And Freehold Township, to their credit, they have really hung in there, and they've done a very nice job on a lot of levels. Obviously, offensively, they have been challenged by this Hillsborough defense, but let's see on this first down play. Schwartz now will get a carry and maybe gets a yard. We'll see where they spot it. Actually, might be no gain on the play.
Might be no gain. Once again, like I said, Freehold just came up with everybody on the line of scrimmage again, anticipating the run. And they had at least 6 guys on the line there. So looking to strip the ball or something like that and be able to get a turnover quickly.
All right, so it will be 2nd and 10. All right, we've got something to say after this next play. Here's Jankowitz. He has a hole. Get to the 35-yard line for a 5-yard pickup. We have confirmed news. The injured Hillsborough Raider was Cooper Carsey on that last play. So, obviously, our thoughts and prayers with him. Hopefully, it is nothing serious, but obviously, everything has to be precautionary, especially today's thing of football. So, we'll leave it at that. Let's hope for the best and just keep on locally for further updates. That's all we can say.
All right, prayers to him and his family, exactly. But
you just never know what can happen in this game. You know?
Right. No. Yep.
So, I mean, we've seen it so many times. Doesn't matter what the level is. 3rd and 5 from the 35-yard line. And they're going to give it to Zion Grant, who crosses the 30 and still run one down to about the 22. That'll be a first down.
Good job by Zion there. Good run. Keep the chains moving. Good. Once again, you got the clock rolling. It's not stopping here, so that's a good job. First down. And now that, Hillsborough, once again, the offensive line coming up big here, knowing they need a couple of really good blocks so that they can get a first down. And here we are. Jankowitz in motion again. He gets the ball right up the middle again.
Gets into red zone to about the 18-yard line. Another 4-yard pickup, and now Hillsborough just looking to melt the clock. Now, remember, each team still has all 3 timeouts. So anything's possible, but Hillsborough's trying to put it away and look forward to next week in Rancocas Valley.
Right. Well, I mean, this is what you want to do. You want to take all this momentum going into that next week's game and build on what you did today and, continuing to get those kinks out. Defensively, they needed to work on a few things with their secondaries, not looking too much into the backfield, but, paying attention to what's going on their zone and not giving up those big plays.
Okay, so it is at the 18, 2nd and 6. They're going to let Shorts have a carry. He'll rumble across the 15 and maybe get down to the 14-yard line. So if anything, they may not be getting a first down, but they're chipping time off the clock as we're under 8 minutes till time and Hillsborough up 15.
Right. Once again, that is the goal. I mean, you do want to be able to successfully get a first down here, right? So that you can continue to run that clock and get this game over with, so you're going to look for, once again, probably Jankowitz holding the ball again in this next possession. And getting the first down, hopefully.
All right, so Cardi calling the play into his offense as the clock winds to 7:20 and counting. 3rd and 2 from the 14-yard line. You have Grant the up back, Jankowitz behind him. And it's Jankowitz. Up across the 10, the 5, and to his 6th goal of the night. Welcome to the end zone.
Wow.
Man, how much more can he clear the area there?
Wow. Once again, yeah, I mean, he kicked out of one tackle there, and he was able to get into the end zone. Great job by the young man. Once again, give it up to the offensive line for blocking for him. Excellent job. So
5th rushing touchdown. He has 1 receiving score. It's been all Jackson tonight. And, I mean, there is going to be a game plan on him next week for sure.
I would definitely game plan for him. That's true.
All right, here is the sophomore Nick Schmidt to try the extra point. He's 5 for 5. Trying to distract him from the extra point has been futile today by Freehold's band. He's 6 for 6.
6 for 6. It's a great job on his part.
42-20 as we're back here inside the Hillsborough press box here. What's impressed you the most about this game outside of Jackson? I don't want to give you any layup questions here.
I've been saying it all night. Their offensive line has been outstanding. And then, whatever adjustments the defensive coordinator made, I know what the adjustment was. It was continuing your defensive line to get upfield and maintain pressure, right? But not going past them and holding their ground and not giving them a space to run. And, which was the biggest thing tonight, for Hillsborough's defense.
You think Hillsborough's going to be playing some inspired defense, especially with the events that have happened in the second half?
I think so. I think, they're going to be fired up for the next game. Their opponent who's going to be next.
We know Rancocas Valley won over Edison, so,
right, so
Hillsborough's traveling there next week. That's why we're not on.
Right.
But if a miracle happens, Hillsborough beats Rancocas, and the number 1 seed Toms River North loses, this place will host and
we'll be back, yeah.
You will. I'll be in Florida. All right, here's the kickoff. Taking it about the 15-yard line, making a left-hand turn. and making a long run across to about the 30 until being pulled down about the 35. So that was Noah Marchica was able to take care of that, as Mateo Del Toro was able to bring him down. And now we're going to be playing more than fast forward here if a Freehold's going to try and survive this one.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm thinking we got to go to the end zone. They want to get a quick strike here, so I'm thinking, if there is a back in the backfield, I'll be surprised. He may only be there for protection, but I'm expecting to see 5 receivers out here and for him to go deep. If not, clear it out and then take off running himself, which is what he's been doing most of the evening anyway.
All right, so 1st and 10, and we will see Freehold at their own 35-yard line. Again, they go spread. Cardone standing, and he's going to flip. I think they're going to try a little bit of a razzle-dazzle play, and a high pop-up goes in between 4 Hillsboro players.
I don't think that's their best play right now. I think having the quarterback with the ball in his hand and throwing the ball downfield is the better bet than that. So it was a good try on their part, but still, once again, it's just like something that you don't want to see at this point. I mean, you're trying to bring out what you can from the playbook, but I think you're better off with the ball in your quarterback's hand rather than trying to do some kind of play like that, some trickery.
I didn't understand that call, especially you're down 3 touchdowns and your season on the line. That was a little bit of a question mark for me.
Right, I said the same thing. So now we're empty, 3-2 here, and we'll see what he comes up with here.
All right, 2nd and 10. I got an important announcement to make after the play. They go empty gun heavy on the right. Cardone back to pass. Now he's going to take off, and let's see if he runs. He will, and he's tackled about the 40-yard line to make it 3rd and 5, and that was Del Toro again. Folks, very important news, and I have some good news for you. We just got word, of course, Cooper Carsey was the one who was injured and taken off the field late in the 3rd quarter. Well, the good news is he has feeling in all of his extremities. He is being taken to a medical center for observation, precautionary. So we're very thankful for that, and keep praying for him. That's all we got to say here. All right, 3rd down, and Hillsboro nearly jumped offside there. It's 3rd and 5 from the 40-yard line. We're still waiting here as the clock winds down to halfway. Cardone will fire. It's caught.
Great job.
That was a Zook pancake there.
He was not fooled. He was not fooled at all. I mean, he stayed with his receiver. As soon as the receiver caught the ball, he just came through, and great hit on his part. Good job. Way to continue playing great defense here by Hillsboro.
All right, so it is 4th and 5, and this potentially could be the season for Freehold right here.
You would think, right? I mean 5
they need
minutes.
3 scores. They need 2 conversions, and they need a 2-pointer in order to level this thing up.
Well, we got empty again. 5 receiver set.
Yes, indeed. Heavy on the left. Cardone. He needs to get to the 45. He's back to pass. He's under a rush. He sneaks out. Is he going to run or is he going to lob? He will lob. And it is incomplete. The ball popped out. And I'll tell you who's had a game. Kevin Jones. He was in on the coverage. He may have knocked it away. Freehold turns the ball over on downs, and Hillsboro gets it with 5:10 left, looking to melt this to next week.
He has had a great game this evening. They've been testing him all night, and he's been up to the challenge. He's been coming up, making plays, deflecting balls away, man coverage, with a little bit of safety over the top, but he's doing a great job this evening.
All right, so it'll be 1st and 10, and Hillsboro right now at the 40-yard line of Freehold. Trying to bring some new people in. I think Jankowicz's night is done. He's on the sidelines. He's like, I'm thankful to rest. All right, we're going to give it to Barker, and he turns the corner. He'll get to about the 30. Still going inside the 20, down to the 18 for another 22 yards.
Great job by Barker there.
The senior didn't provide a cliffhanger.
Great job on his part. Good running. Once again, offensive line doing a great job getting out there and blocking their guys. Not allowing anyone to touch him at least until he was at least 15 yards down the sideline there. So good job by the offensive line. Again, I've been calling all of those guys' number.
Well,
again.
Considering Jackson has all the touchdowns today for Hillsboro, 5 rushing, 1 receiving. Let's see if somebody else can get into the fray. But at this point, I'm sure Hillsboro is more worried about let's head down to Mount Holly next week and look for Rancocas. I mean, obviously we knew it was going to be a struggle, but once you play your game, you're in good shape. Here's a handoff.
Oh,
there is
there he
Wagner,
is.
and he showcases his way into the end zone. And he gets to clear the area now. Wow.
Great run again by this young man here. I mean, once again, Hillsboro has so many weapons, that it's a great thing to see here that, another guy gets into the end zone that contribute to this great game here this evening. So let's see.
Boy, I'll tell you what, Hillsboro, I mean, they've obviously recovered nicely. They went back to playing their game after, shall we say, a very haphazard third quarter and early fourth. But here we go with the extra point. Nick Schmidt goes for 7 for 7. Band still wants to ice him. Haven't they gotten the lesson yet?
Yeah, I mean, really great job by this kicker.
Yeah, well, let's break here with 4:22 left. Hillsboro leads Freehold Township 49-20. We'll come back in just a moment. All right, we are back. 4:22 left, and Hillsboro had 49-20.
Mhm.
Well, we're one shy of a 50 burger, and Howard had to remind me of that. This is Brad Sham's turn, the play-by-play guy of the Cowboys. He was the one who came up with that first
50 burger. Let's see. I mean, you never know.
Hey, better than having it raw, I'll tell you that much.
Yes, sir. Let's see what we get here now.
We're going to get a kickoff, I can tell you that much. And that one goes high, and it'll be taken at about the 5-yard line.
Good kick.
Yeah, it is. Trying to get through the middle.
Coverage.
Good coverage, too, down to about the 23-yard line. So it will be a Freehold Township's ball, 1st and 10, and I believe now running clock rules are in effect.
I believe so. Oh, that's not.
Oh, I beg your pardon. I must have miscalculated or something. But anyway, Freehold with 4:05 left will have 1st and 10 for the 23-yard line. And for the seniors, think about this. I mean, you look at Nick Cardone. He's a senior quarterback. He's had really a heck of a year. I mean, he's had 27 touchdown receptions. He has thrown 2 interceptions today, but he's had a fantastic year.
Yeah, he has. He's trying to continue to finish off this year on a high note.
Oh, they're going to do razzle dazzle again. Back.
Pass.
And I think it went back to Cardone. So I'm not sure if that's going to be a run, a pass, or a lateral city here. All this and they get back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah. I mean, when you're looking to do these things, I mean, I still don't get these calls as to why they do this, but I get you want to try to make something happen. So here it is. We'll do some trickery and hopefully something comes out of it other than gaining a yard.
I tell you what, if I were to coach, I mean, I'll put it to you this way. I try driving down the field, see if I can get one more score. And at least end these seniors at least on a high note.
On a high note. That is correct. That's what I was anticipating here. But, so here we are, 5 wide again.
All right, back to pass, and this will be caught about the 20-yard line, and a bunch of Hillsboro players waiting. That last play was only for a yard. This is only for maybe about 3 more. It'll be 3rd and 6. Now, I just want to let everybody know shortly, I will be leaving to head down, be set for post-game interviews following the game. So please stay tuned for that. Don't go anywhere, and you'll find out who I'm going to interview. Not going to tell you right now, but... But for those who've been watching the whole way, you'd think one of them be pretty obvious. What do
Yeah,
you think?
one. I would assume one would be obvious. You are correct.
All right, 3rd and 6 from the 28-yard line. Back to pass Cardone, throwing right. Good catch. And a first down. Oh, a little undercut
hit.
at about the 35-yard line. Noah Cancella, he got undercut a little bit, and he's shaken up. Let's hope he's all right. We don't want anyone else. We don't want anyone else hurt tonight.
You don't want to see any of this. You want these kids to be able to get, play and, you injury free. So.
Well, yeah, just a hard landing. Remember, they are playing on turf.
Right.
So you have to kind of consider that as well. But it will be first down when we resume play with 2:23 left. And so I'll tell you what I'm going to do. With 2:23 left, I'm going to exit. Joey will take you the rest of the way, and then we will have the post-game interview once the clock hits 0, and we will take it from there. So, Joey, go ahead and have it.
All right. Thank you very much. And go ahead. We will hopefully, this young man is injury not serious, so. But Hillsborough right now is playing a good prevent defense, where they're letting the ball happen. They're letting everything happen in front of them so that way they can rally to the ball and make a play. So that's all you want to do. You want to finish up the game this way so that this way, you can finish on a high note as far as Hillsborough goes and take all this momentum into the next round of the playoffs. So, all right. So he's off. He's up. Good job. Get a big round of applause from the fans here, which is great. He's walking off on his own power. Great job. So, Freehold Township now coming back out. Yeah, so he's got a single back with him on his right-hand side there, on his left-hand side, and 2x2 receivers here. Oh, so look, catch. And we can have a scoop and score here. Number 22 into the end zone. I don't see any flags or any other indications that it's not. Great job. Touchdown. Welcome to the end zone, Hillsborough. Great job. Yes. I love it. This, once again, this is what you want to take with you on to the next round. On
return with 5 flags. Going to go 10 yards from the 22, bring it to the 32. It'll be first down, black ball.
All right. So it's not a touchdown, obviously. There was a penalty that we didn't get to see. Blocking the back, it was the end of what the referee said there. And it'll bring it back. Oh, such a bad thing. So I think we're probably going to get 2 kneel downs here, 2 victory formations. But let's just see what they call here. All right. All right. So, okay. So here's your first kneel here by Hillsborough. All right. He's trying his best to get by through the cheerleaders there. Tom is doing a great job. He'll get there. Yep. And here we're going to get another kneel down. I think that should be, maybe we get one more after this. Maybe we get one more as the band plays again to try to, yeah. Okay, they're playing the Sports Center theme there, which is pretty cool, actually. And I think we're up. I think it's almost over here. I think we have to get one more Just one more kneel down, I think, and the clock will run out, and then it will be official. So great job tonight by Hillsborough, offense and defense. Great job with the defensive coordinator making the adjustments on correcting what was going on and keeping this quarterback in the pocket there. All right, that's it, and there's your ball game. Thank you for tuning in to HSG Network. Tom Wilkinson, Joey Pagan, and Howard Gaber, and we will be back with our post-game interview. Stick around so that we can give it to you. All right.
All right, we're back here at David Noonan Field here at Hillsborough High School. I'm Tom Wilkins, joined to my right, no surprise, Jackson Jankowitz, and to my left, Xander Borowski, whom, I'll tell you what, he was one fired-up kid as Hillsborough won their opener over Freehold Township by a count 49-20. I got to start with Xander. Second quarter, my goodness, had a situation there. You came back really fired up, and how'd you feel after that?
Feel good. I just feel like our defense was humming. We gave up a couple points to start off the game. It's obviously not good, but we just buckled down, played good defense, and got after the quarterback.
And despite the slow start because of him, you shined again with 6 touchdowns. What was your favorite one of the bunch?
I would say the pass I caught because I just had to make a couple moves and I was out of it.
Well, needless to say, another 1,000-yard season for Jackson here. But, Xander, how's your knee? Because we saw you walking with an ice pack on the third quarter. You holding up all right?
Yeah, I'll be all right. Just got to, get treatment this week and get ready for Rancocas Valley.
Well, speaking of Rancocas Valley, Jackson, what's going to be the key to beat them when you're on the road in Mount Holly next week?
I think we just got to keep doing what we're doing. I'm going to trust my O-line, and I'm going to go to work like always. And then the playmakers alongside me will also do it.
Well, your offensive line did a heck of a job. And defensively, real quick, what will be the difference for you guys to hold them down? Because this is a good team you're going to deal with.
Yeah, I think we just got to get after the quarterback, get in rhythm. And I think if we just get a couple stops, our offense is really playing well, so we'll be all right.
Well, save your touchdowns for next week.
Yeah. I'll get some more.
Well, you can only hope for the best. Xander, Jackson, thank you guys again for being here, and congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
All right, Xander Borowski and Jackson Jackowitz, you just saw them put together a great performance tonight as Hillsborough advances to the Group 5 South Jersey semifinals, defeating the Freehold Township Patriots by a score of 49-20. For Howard Gaber and Joey Pagan, I'm Tom Wilkins. Thanks for joining us.